Hi everybody, how are you? Welcome in. Congrats on getting first Trevor, congrats on getting second Vampire Clown, congrats on getting third Monokuma. How are all of you? Also, you are allowed to bring Junko because every time I think of Junko now, I think of the guy who was doing Dress to Impress and the theme was Gyaru and he was like, oh, that's so Gyaru. And I just wonder if I can find it. It cracks me up every. Hi. Where is it? Do I have it? Where's the joke or where's the video about it? Because it was this guy. I can't. Oh yeah, here it is.
Chad, is this it? Hang on. I have a plan. Yeah.
Fuck no! Why did I hate YouTube Shorts? What is it doing? It's not the right thing, anyways. Fuck off! I hate it here. Stop doing this. This isn't what I clicked on. I hate it here. We'll find it eventually in here.
Dad. Yeah, that's giving. Yeah, that's giving. Yeah, I fear you 8. I'm not gonna lie, you 8. I'm gonna give you 2 though. That's not giving Yaru at all.
That was not worth it to find that. I'm so sorry. It's been so funny to me the whole time. But yeah, okay. So we'll figure this out eventually. So hi fishy. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be shocked if Gourmet makes it, but also at this point I kind of won't be. I'm expecting like our final survivors to be like Gourmet, Posh. I mean, Incompetent probably. And like Doleful, I guess? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, no, Renegade's gonna die next. It'll be like his final thing. He'll die in some really convoluted way that exposes who the true mastermind was or something dumb. God, I just like this. Also, yeah, I don't remember where I first heard about that thing, but heard that clip, but it showed up on Twitter at some point, and Gyaru has been cracking me up ever since. Oh, that's right. Let me see if I can put together a prediction. We'll see who is found guilty of this one. Remember that last time when we were predicting who was going to be killed, the only predictions were for Gourmet and Incompetent. So let's see. Who killed Workaholic? So, our first outcome, Incompetent. And we've got... Posh. Who else is still alive? We've got Incompetent, we've got Doleful, we've got Gourmet, we've got Renegade, we've got Posh, we've got Techie. Who else is there? Isn't it just... Am I going insane? Who else is left? I think that might... Is it just the 6 of them? I feel like I've got to be forgetting someone. Bookworm. That's... Yes. So yeah, we've got Incompetent, Doleful, Gourmet, Renegade, Posh, Techie, Bookworm. That's 7. And we've lost... What have we lost? I don't know. Hold on. Let me just... Workaholic died already, so we've lost him. I want to go into the game so I can see in the, like, roster who I'm missing, but I like this so much. It's almost over. Workaholic got zapped or stabbed or something. I don't know if we know the details yet. Okay. Incompetent, Doleful, Renegade's alive, Posh is alive, Mystic is dead, Gourmet is alive, Workaholic's dead, Doleful is alive, Techie's alive, Bookworm's alive, Downtown's dead, Armor's dead, Rowdy's dead. Yeah, so it is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 left alive. Yeah, okay. So we'll leave the submission period open for like 30 minutes, which is as long as it'll let me go for. And then, I don't know, we'll see how it goes from there. We killed Workaholic. I mean, I guess, yeah, we'll just leave it as Workaholic. We won't call him Diabolic. He's already dead. Okay, starting the prediction. There we go. I mean, I don't know if also I love calling him alcoholic. Pause I guess. I mean, we don't really know though when he died. Also, yeah, they were using the AED thing or whatever on him long after he died. Anyways, let's see. What's the prediction looking like so far? What's everyone gonna guess? And we're probably a long ways away from figuring it out, but anyways, even if a doctor would have called it, or even a doctor would have called it by now, there's nothing more to be done. No. My legs give out as I sink to the floor, and I finally decided to protect the lives of the others to the very best of my ability, which I think is really funny because it implies that he has not bothered to protect them to the best of his ability so far. But the moment Workaholic gave me a chance to put my words into action, he died. What a bitter, darkly ironic end. Apart from the stab wounds on his chest, his body remains untouched, making it harder to accept his reality. Was he really murdered? Wait, actually, you know what? Hold on. We're going to delete this prediction because I want to add in the possibility that Workaholic has killed himself somehow. Sorry, I don't mean to do that. Gourmet. Either intentional or unintentional suicide. I think it needs to be like on the list. Incompetent, posh, gourmet. Who am I forgetting now? Fuck, I can't. Oh, wrong button. My memory is atrocious. Competent, renegade. We got posh. We've got gourmet, doleful. I always forget doleful. Okay, there we go. Now we've done it. I miss Downtown too. She was so good. She was so fun. She was such a menace. Who would do something so awful? We're the only survivors left now, which means there's only one person who could be the culprit, right? That's right. There's no doubt about it. The electrocution caused the alarm, which occurred when the power returned, so Workaholic was killed when the tripped breakers were reset. All of us were with somebody else. That leaves only one candidate who could have set this trap. Edits, how are you? The timing with which the breakers tripped was too perfect. He planned from the start to escape under the cover of darkness while killing Workaholic at the same time. Like, that would have been so elaborate. Could it have been his plan to lure us here? Renegade Detective was waiting for the elevator to be repaired, was he not? The girl asked. Yeah. What Bookworm says makes sense. Even with the key, he couldn't use it while so many of us were camped out in front of the elevator. What if he's using Workaholic's corpse and the alarm to distract us? Yes. Also, hi Sachi, how are you? We're not going to beat the shit out of him because we let him get away last time. So we're just never going to get him back. That explosion could have been Renegade Detective destroying the elevator after he finished using it. Let's get back over there. We got to find out what's going on. We haven't, which is bizarre. I take the lead as we head over to where the others are waiting in front of the elevator. Renegade might be bleeding out. I mean, he did survive getting his arm cut off for a couple of days and seems to be doing fine. And he is a mortal detective, apparently, so that might be part of the issue. But we'll see. Also, yeah, we're just leaving the live wire alone. I mean, to be fair, what are they supposed to do about it? An unthinkable sight awaits us when we arrive at the elevator. What happened? Can I start a second prediction about who killed presumably Workaholic, or not Workaholic, Renegade by blowing him up in the elevator? Wait, yeah, they heard an explosion. They Did someone else set off his collar? The elevator is stuck, its door is slightly ajar, blood drips from the gap like a tap left running. Against my will, the overwhelming stench of blood forces me to imagine what tragedy could have been transpired inside. Where's Fossil? Someone finally gets microwaved and he's not even here.
エレベーターが正常に動作していたので、この階へと呼んでみたらこうなっていたのですわ。
The elevator was functioning, so I summoned it to our floor, and this is how it
内側の
appeared.
扉がちゃんと開かず、しかも血まみれで。
The inner doors will not budge, and everything is covered in blood.
僕らだけの力じゃ扉を開けられなかったんだ。
Love this
布
music.
野くん手伝ってもらえるかな。
The three of us weren't strong enough to open it. Incompetent, could you help us out? I mean, surely you guys can turn on the flashlight and peek, right? Yes, of course. We all grab the gates and pull with our combined strength. The metal scrapes along as it gradually shifts. The more the gap widens, the more blood spills out. It's like opening a portal. Blood isn't... What the fuck is happening in here? Is he getting pulled apart by the doors? I don't want to look, but I can't bring myself to avert my eyes. Once we forcefully pry the gates apart, a swirl of emotions assails me. Ugh. I don't like it. Ew. A headless corpse tumbles out of the open elevator. Blood flows from the stump of his neck. I know I've seen this body before. That body, those clothes. Could it be... How am I... Let me run a second submission at the same time here. Because I don't think I can run a second one until this one's over. I like the Danganronpa 3 cases. Depends on which one. They're all messed up in their own ways. But like, I like the madness of it all. Anyways, Renegade Detective?
なんですって？
But Renegade
芸
killed
能さんは
Workaholic,
シャ
did he
チクさんを
not?
殺した犯人のはずでしょ？
So
どうして殺されているんですの？
so has Renegade himself dead as well?
まだカモフラージュの可能性もあります。よく遺体を調べてみましょう。
Perhaps as a decoy, we should thoroughly inspect the body. Thank you for the hydration check, Fossil. Someone has been microwaved till their head exploded. I hope you're okay with that. Hope this doesn't bring up any trauma for you. Stay back, Bookworm. We'll have a look. We cautiously approach what appears to be Renegade Detective's remains and investigate.
首なし死体だなんて久しぶりよ。えぐいことをするわね。
I haven't seen a decapitated body in a long time. Nauseating, isn't it?
僕が機動探偵を見失ってから猶予は全然なかったはずだよ。
Incompetent buddy.
誰がどうやっ
You've
て
got to be able to put this together.
切り落としたのか。
Oh no. The V3 case is a mess. There wasn't a lot of time in between now and us losing sight of him. Who cut his head off and how?
きっと社畜さんが言ってた首輪が爆発したんだよ。これはさすが
How do you get a head injury? He doesn't have one of those. The collar workaholic mention must have gone off. This is all so horrible.
さっき聞いたのは首輪の爆発音だったんですね。ですがどうして爆発を？
That's what we heard a minute ago, or was the collar detonating? But what caused it?
あの下道探偵が
Uh,
これほどあっさり死ぬなんてなんだか信じられません。少女は両目を手で覆いつつ率直な感想を口にする。
I refuse to believe that Renegade Detective could die so easily, the girl said, sharing her candid opinion while covering both eyes with her hands.
そうだね。僕も同じ気持ちだよ。
Yeah, I feel the same way. Oh no. Looks like the renegade we know so well. But without any head on this corpse, we can't tell if it's really him. I mean, I guess. That's only something they would do. Knowing him, it doesn't seem impossible that he's still hiding somewhere alive and well. And then there are further mysteries atop all of this. What? We hear a tremendous boom from above us. It feels closer than the last one if the shaking floor is any indication. If the first explosion was the collar, then what's the second one?
この事件妙な点が多すぎませんか？
No, I think this is actually extremely normal. I don't know what you're talking about, Techie. There are too many peculiarities about all this, don't you think?
そうね。
エレベーターの鍵を下道ちゃんしか持っていなかった以上、呼び出せたのは彼自身だけだわ。
Absolutely. Renegade was the only one with an elevator key, so no one other than him could have called for it.
でもその下道ちゃんは上の階で殺された。私たち以外の誰かが地上にいたと考えるのが自然かもしれないわね。
But Renegade was killed on an upper level, so maybe it makes sense to assume someone besides us was on the surface. Also, I think what we're gonna do here
僕ら以外の
is we're gonna
誰
keep
か
the
が
workaholic poll going,
それって誰なのかな。
because there's no way to have two
そうか
correct
ずっ
outcomes
と
from
地上
a
の研
poll.
究棟で誰かが上がってくるのを待っていたの。
Also, yeah, Techie, like, come on. We're gonna run the first poll. It's gonna close out in 30 minutes. I can't end it and start a new one until like we have a result for this one. So I think what we might do is identify who killed Workaholic. And then if it's still ambiguous who killed Renegade from there, then we'll just run a second poll as soon as we've established who killed Workaholic. Someone besides us? But who? Were they in the research facility above ground the whole time, waiting for him to arrive?
ですが、そうなると社畜さんは誰に
Posh
殺
had one
さ
just
れ
like
たと
wrapped
言いま
around her
す
wrist
よ。
and she just take it off.
地上で誰かが待ち受けていただなんて矛盾していますわよ。
Also, yeah, last time the Duke hasn't killed two people really except for at the very beginning. If we assume that if the Duke was the one who killed Senior Detective, then he killed two because he killed Ideal and Senior. But I think that's really it. He hasn't killed multiple at once because Downtown killed Mystic and then Downtown killed herself with poison that was supposedly fast acting but took 45 minutes. And then Renegade got Workaholic to kill Rowdy, and then neither of them died right away. And then Renegade killed Armor, and now both of them are dead. I think that's all we've got. I think that's our order of operations. Anyways, if that's the case, who could have murdered Workaholic? To say somebody was biding their time there.
Isn't that
Hi,
sweet?
Puppo. Thank you for. Oh my god, it's been a year. Ah. How are you doing, Buppo? It is a wild Buppo. Guess someone's biding the time that represents a clear contradiction. Don't vor Puppo. We're celebrating an anniversary now.
ほぼ同時に殺された2人。
Happy
しかし
year.
その殺害条件が矛盾している事件。
Also, Puppo, you just missed it. Renegade got exploded in the elevator. His head got popped off. We microwaved him. Anyway, you can't take him out. Oh, that's why 8-8, I see. Anyways, the two of them were simultaneously killed on separate levels, but the conditions for each murder conflict with the other.
名付けるのであれば矛盾
Oh
回
god,
想殺人
we're
事
doing
件
another...
といったところでしょうかと少女は自らの考えを口にした。
If we were to name this case, then the case of the Paradox killings would be apt, said the girl, sharing her thoughts. But like... I do think it's interesting that two previous killers got killed off here. But I don't know. Who would have killed them?
巡回層
And is it possible that they killed each other? Like Renegade killed... Like my... Okay, I'm gonna put... My theory to get right now is that Renegade killed Workaholic. I feel like that's not that hard to believe. But Workaholic rigged the elevator or the collar or something in some way so that as soon as it either... Like he activated the call or activated the elevator, or as soon as he... you know, went above a certain elevation or something like that, then it would explode. Or like rigged it so that the button on the elevator would send a signal to the tablet so that it would blow him up. Or the tablet, maybe the tablet just hasn't had a connection to the network so that it could activate the collar, so Workaholic has already activated it. And it just waited until his collar got within like service range. Alright. Techie could have also wired it. I think that Renegade killing Workaholic makes sense to me. I think that Workaholic maybe worked with Techie or something, but I think that I think it's that the two of them killed each other, which is why they're going with Paradox Killings as the name. If it's not the two of them killing each other, then I think that Techie would make sense. Everyone apart from Posh and myself was in the lobby. It's an obvious fact that none of us could have killed Workaholic. Renegade Detective's the only one who had the opportunity to kill him, but he was killed too. Could there be someone else on this floor? Or is there someone like me with superhuman abilities that defy these contradictions?
ハムズさん、僕はどうすればいいですか？
Yeah, Workaholic Incompetent does know how to, or has like the ability. I think it's that his tablet has the permissions to activate it. Also, hi Galaxy, how are you? Welcome in. If Techie did get revenge, I would I'd be okay with that. Holmes, what do I do? I ask Holmes, but I don't see her. She hasn't appeared at all since I remembered my past. Does that have something to do with why I haven't seen her since yesterday? Oh my god, we're approaching a paradox of it itself. This is the end of 999. This is the final puzzle. June's disappeared because now the paradox is getting too close. Ideal's like, I don't fucking know, dude. Or is she choosing not to appear to me? I don't understand what's going on at all. But there's no time to wait. We won't be able to escape this island if we don't unpack this mystery. I kind of wonder if, like, making someone be a murderer twice over kind of wouldn't really work with this game's logic, I think. And both of these two are considered murderers by the game. Workaholic was the chapter, I guess, 2. And Renegade was chapter 3. I don't think this is the last puzzle. I mean, it could be, I guess, but I don't think so. There's no time to wait. We won't be able to escape this island if we don't unpack this mystery. We're so close to escaping. Our only choice is to solve this case no matter what. I mean, do we need to solve it? We could just, like... Oh, I don't like that. We could push the rest of his body just, like, out of the elevator so that we can get out of there. And then just, like, just kind of kick him out. Hi, Mint. Yeah, Workaholic died. We're trying to figure out who killed him. And also who killed Renegade. Chapter 5, The Case of the Paradox Murders. That glitching effect fucks with me so much. Someone... Okay. This is unrelated. Someone left a comment on the Buried Stars VoDs, on the final VoD from it, where I was playing through like the special horror route of it. And they were like, I had to put it on 2 times speed and I had to skip around a bunch because you were like getting so scared that you weren't doing anything. I was like, yeah, bitch, I don't know what you want me to do. I am a gigantic coward. This is well-established canon at this point. I don't know what you want from me. Yeah, you need to go through the other timelines, incompetent. You gotta get all the codes for all the other bombs. God, part of me wants to play VLR again. I don't know. I don't think I will, but like, I kind of want to revisit it. I don't need to go back to 999. I certainly don't need to go back to Zero Time Dilemma, but part of me wants to revisit VLR. Do you think we can reach headquarters? VLR on map.
状況は変わらずです。やっぱりこの島へ来た時と同じで、
I think
通信ネットワークが安定しません。
we'll do a VLR marathon stream where I can't go to sleep until I've finished the game. No, nothing's changed. The comms network is just as unstable as it was when we first arrived on the island.
連絡が途絶えてからすでに1週間は経過
It
して
would
い
take
る
a
は
long
ず。
time. It's a long game.
異常が伝わっているなら、いずれ救助が来てくれるはずです。
Still, it's already been a week since we lost contact. Assuming they've noticed something's off, help should arrive soon.
地上にいれば救助に気づかないことはないもんね。ひとまずはおとなしく待っておくのが最善かな。
Yeah, there's no way we'll miss a rescue team as long as we're on the surface. I guess our best option is to sit tight and wait
そ
for
れ
now.
にしてもロビーは地下と全く同じ見た目なんだね。
Wait,
それにしても
huh? Did we take the elevator up and just like ignore his corpse? Did I not pay attention? Levels, conditions for medical effect. Was in the lobby. The lobby was renovated. Maybe someone else on this floor. Yeah, because like they're talking like they're on a higher level. Like as long as we're on the surface, but like we're not on. And then they're saying this lobby looks exactly like the one underground. They must have taken the elevator up and just like walked over his corpse.
はい。きっと意図的なものなんだと思います。
Yeah, I'm sure it's on
エレベー
purpose.
ターのボタンに地下の表示がなく、鍵を使った特別な押し方じゃないと地下へ行けなかったり、かなり厳重に情報を隠されていたみたいですし。
Corkin takes it. The elevator has no button for going down below, and you can't get there without that special key. It was clearly meant to be kept secret.
写真が流出してもごまかせるようにしているんじゃないでしょうか。
Maybe it's designed like this so that even if pictures were leaked, they could explain it away.
僕がそうだったように、きっとこの研究棟の職員の中にも地下の存在を知らなかった人もいたのだと思います。
It's likely that there were members in the research facility who, like me, didn't know about the underground sector.
組織内でもあまり公にしたくない場所だったってことか。
So even within the organization, they really didn't want anyone knowing, huh? We all have a look around, and while there are traces of an explosion, there isn't anything too unusual. That is, apart from one thing in particular.
無能君下道探偵の首を見つけたよ
Incompetent, I found Renegade Detective's head.
これはひどいね。
This is horrible. It's overwhelmingly graphic. By no means can we let Bookworm's photographic memory see it. We keep watch ensuring the rest don't notice. The area where the collar was implanted is scorched, confirming the noise we had heard before was, in fact, the collar detonating.
やっぱり首輪の爆発が死因なのかな。
So the cause of death really was the collar exploding then.
いや下道探偵の死因は移動するエレベーターと床に挟まれて首がちぎれたことによるショック死だって美食さんが言っていたよ
Gourmet said he was caught between the elevator and floor and died from shock as it tore his head off. Wait, so they're saying that he, like, his head was shut in the elevator door and then, like, while he was still alive, and then they closed it and the elevator yanked it down and ripped him apart? Also, when did Gourmet say that? I don't think Gourmet said that. I don't think Gourmet has really said anything here. What? What is happening? I feel like... Are we, like, missing things? Like, is there something that's just, like...
Yeah.
Because Gourmet didn't say that.
ほらエレベーターの扉に隙間があったでしょ扉の焦げた痕跡を見るにあの隙間は首輪の爆発で無理やり作られたみたいなんだ
There was a gap in between the elevator doors, remember? Judging by the scorch marks on them, it was forcibly made by an exploding collar. When did they say that? This feels like they've just kind of like it feels like we missed a scene. There's a gap in between them, yeah. Judging by the scorch marks, forcibly made by an exploding collar.
その隙間から首を出した状態でエレベーターが操作されると
And then the elevator started moving with his head still stuck in the gap, which, you know,
ちぎれるってわけか。
which tore it
俺
off.
がやることとは思えないエグさだね。
Wait, but how would the what? There was a gap in between the elevator doors. Judging by the scorch marks, it was forcibly made by an exploding collar, and then the elevator started moving with his head still stuck in the gap, which tore it off. But like, what? So they're saying the collar exploded. It didn't separate his head from his body. It just ripped it off, or that like it exploded in between the door, and then, huh? Because okay. We do know that there are other exploding collars, and he knows how to explode them, he just doesn't know how to attach them to people, I think, is the thing. Or no, I don't know if he knows how to detonate them either. Pretty sure he does, though. I think he said that when we were talking to Posh. So I guess the idea is like he brought a second bomb collar up here, and then activated it, and then maybe that activated his own? Like maybe that's what happened? But I don't get... How did his head get stuck in the door? I'm so... The plan must have taken into account how old the elevator is, not to mention its lax security measures. Whatever the case, it's horrifying.
あれ下道探偵の首に火傷の跡が見えるよ。
I don't know if this is stupid. It just feels like we're missing a scene. Like the explosion knocked... But like... How did his head get stuck in the door in the first place? There are burn marks on his neck, but that doesn't make sense if he wasn't killed by the explosion.
それはきっと2度目の爆発によるものだねほら下道探偵は予備の首輪を複数所持していたでしょ
It must have been the second explosion. Renegade Detective took a number of reserve collars with him, right? But then that would require that somebody else activated the elevator to send it back down, which you can't do from up here without the key. I don't know. Must have been the second explosion, took a number
エ
of
レ
reserve
ベーターの
collars.
扉を開いた爆発はきっとその予備を使ったんだよ
They didn't mention the
そして
scorch marks on the
二度目の
elevator
爆
door
発
though,
は
did they?
下道探偵の首についていたものが爆発したんじゃないかな
And also, the second explosion happened after the... Like... The second explosion happened after the elevator had already come back down, right? Like, his corpse was already here, so, like, did his head explode... What? Probably was one of them to open the elevator doors, maybe the second one was his neck going off. I don't think that that's insane.
つまり 首がちぎれた後に追い打ちで爆発した。
No, the doors wouldn't be down the shaft because the doors would be burst outwards. Like, the elevator doors aren't like...
さすがに同情したくなる死に方だね。
So the collar on his neck detonated after his head was already torn off. He may have had it coming, but it's hard not to feel for him. Like, then why?
こ
What?
んな殺し方を考えつくなんて信じられないよ。
Also,
僕ら
Doleful
が
is
思ってい
he.
る以上に八つ咲公は残忍だっ
An
たんだね。
androgynous boy, so how would anyone be attracted to him? I think is what we established earlier. Wasn't that one of the comments that someone made where it was like... Or I think that was ideal to incompetent, wasn't it? Where she was like, you're the one that they would want because there's not that many options. I think just a reminder that everyone except for Gourmet is a teenager. I think they're all 17, except for Bookworm who's like 12 or 14. Yeah, it's hard to believe someone could think of a murder like this. According to Duke's far crueler than we thought. Thank you for the jacket redeem as well, Trevor.
犯人は予備の首輪を
The
爆発
costume
さ
is
せて
very cute. It's
エ
a
レ
very
ベー
good
ターの
outfit.
扉を無理やりこじ開けた後、下道探偵の首を扉に挟んで
No
脱出。
boring, he's a little guy. So the culprit detonated a reserve collar to force the elevator open, then stuck Renegade Detective's head in between the doors and escaped.
エレベーターが動いて、下道探偵の首がちぎれた後、地上に転がった首に残されていた首輪が時間差で爆発した
Gourmet
と
should be at the club.
いうわけか。
When the elevator moved, it tore off Renegade Detective's head, which rolled to the ground with its collar going off shortly after that. But then, how did they get Renegade into the door to begin with? Like, something would have had to have knocked him unconscious. Like, I love the idea. Okay, what happens if it was the blood loss from the conflict with Incompetent? And so he, like, got into the elevator and he was making his way up, and then all the, like, adrenaline ran out, so he just, like, passed out and, like, fell backwards against the door. Then the door opened, and then it had bad security, so it just like kind of closed on his head. It didn't have like the thing that detects if there's someone in the way. And then the elevator, for whatever reason, automatically went back down, and that was what pulled him apart. And the collar just exploded because of like a malfunction. I go through all that effort. I can't make any sense of it. Why jump through all these hoops to kill Renegade Detective with the elevator specifically? It'd be way quicker and less risky to do away with him by hand.
それとこれは多分嫌がらせなんだけど。
It does feel like there was meant to be some, not even an investigation segment, just something happening there. There's also this, which I'm guessing was made to
エ
mock
レベー
us.
ターの操作パネルにこんな張り紙があったよ。
It was attached to the elevator's operating panel. Warning, this button may cause death.
確かに死んだね。
Sure.
探偵が。
Really did mean death for Renegade Detective.
死期を悟った下道探偵の渾身のジョークだったのかも。ボタンを押すとき警戒してドキドキしちゃったよ。
You were tense when you pushed the button? Okay. Maybe Renegade Detective knew he was about to die and jotted this down as a joke. I was so tense when I pushed that button.
全然笑えないって。
Nothing to laugh at, though. Then again, trying to inject humor into such a morbid situation would be so very like him. We finished examining his corpse and returned below ground.
下道探偵の遺体を調べたら、ポケットから彼が装着していたものと同種と思われる首輪が見つかりました。
I found spare collars in his pocket, probably the same model that was
確
implanted on
か
him.
社畜さんも言っていたと思うのですが、これは探偵デバイスなどの通信機から起爆を命じることにより、遠隔操作で爆破可能なメカのようです。
Workaholic mentioned it before, but these devices can be remotely detonated via a transmitter such as a D-pad.
デバイスから命令ってどうすればできるの？
How can it be done on a D-pad?
僕らが連絡を取り合っているメッセージ機能で対象に特定のキーワードを送るだけです。今後は分かりやすくこの行動をコマンドと呼びましょうか。
I kind of think we should maybe redo the poll just as like who's the ultimate culprit? Because I do feel like having the investigation happen feels like not accurate. Because if we delete it, it'll just return the points to everyone, and then everyone will just get like we'll just restart it. I hate redoing the polls, but also like I mean, I think the game is going to set up someone to be the ultimate culprit of it. Like someone is going to be the one who was determined to be the bad guy. Like each case has had one culprit, even if it's had, or I guess it's only, we haven't had one with 2 victims yet, really. But I don't know, we'll see. All you'd have to do is use the messaging function to send a keyword to the target. To keep things simple, let's call the keyword a command.
内部データを解析してみたところ、 起爆の条件が
Hi Bagels, how are
3
you?
台以上からのコマンドであることも分かりました。
I've analyzed the internal data and confirmed that detonation requires a command from 3 or more devices. You know what? Fuck it. We are going to redo this and we're going to make it the
3以上
ultimate
からの
culprit.
コマンドが必
We're going to delete, return all the
つまり
points.
3人以上が下道探偵にメッセージを送らないといけなかったってことか。
You're pissed? Oh no. Okay. Northern schedule. I love it so much. I mean, it's like the profile picture now on Twitch. It's like, I love it so much. It's so good. I don't know if I can show the whole thing on stream, but I really like it a lot. Gourmet. Okay, so we're gonna do this. This is for who is ultimately responsible for whatever's gone on here. Which one of these actually, we'll put the quartering duke in here too, as like a separate option. Or like quartering duke slash other as like a bonus option in case it's some other random person who hasn't been here yet. There we go. There we go. Okay. So 3 more detectives. Oh my god, it is it's the body discovery rule. Workaholic said that he needed my help with the detonation, so he planned to have me, himself, and an unknown third party use our D-pads to trigger it. So I guess it didn't need. Why did it need to be me then?
ちなみに不用意に裏面を開くと内部データを見られないよう自爆するセキュリティ機能もあります。
There's also a security function that causes it to self-destruct when the back is pried open, preventing you from seeing any internal data.
何やらスパイ映画じみていますわね。
But like,
そちらを利用して起爆することは叶いませんの？
okay, that doesn't like explain why he needed our help. There were a lot of people with D-pads. Also, he could have just collected the other ones. Like, other people died with them on hand. He could have just used those. Let me see if I can find the schedule at least, because I can show that. Or the... I don't have a cropped version of it. I could do that. That one should be fine, right? Where are they? Aliana... Why does that look like that? What? Hold on. Let me just... Why did that look so like... There we go. It looks a little bit off for some reason. I don't know why this like came out... I think it's... Oh, the background is like weirdly... I don't know what's going on in the background. But anyways, yeah, I love the art a lot. It's so good. Kaliana did a great job with it. Anyways, we'll put that away now. Is it straight up a spy movie can that be used to trigger an explosion?
装着した状態では裏面は開けませんし開いて10秒足らずで爆発するので計画的な活用は難しそうです。
Yeah, I'm very normal
小
about it
型
too.
の爆弾として使うのがせいぜいかと。
It'd go off in under 10 seconds and you can't open the back when it's attached, so it's hard to utilize systematically. At best, it could be a small bomb. Well, someone could have just like... If his head is being clamped in the elevator door, someone could just reach in, rip open the back, and then run. They've got, you know, pull the pin count to 10. You don't even have to throw. Yeah.
エレベーターの扉をこじ開けるのには使えそうだけど、それ以上の使い方は厳しそうだね。
So you could use one to bust open the elevator doors, but anything else beyond that would be a lot of extra trouble. Didn't the culprit sever Renegade Detective's collar, remove it, or did they do that? No, why would... They take too much time and leave even more evidence. It makes way more sense for it to be detonated the standard way, remotely.
誰がデバイスから連絡したかまではわからないかな。
You can tell which devices were used to do this.
残念ながらそこまでは。
Unfortunately not.
実際に爆発した首輪は木っ端みじんで調べようもありません。
The detonated collar was blown to smithereens, so there's no way to check.
これまでに死んだ方々のデバイスを利用す
Okay,
る
I'm
か
glad
ど
that
う
someone
でし
mentioned
ょう
that, because
か。
that feels like a thing that would be pretty
少女
notable.
は第三の可能性を提示する。
I mean, I think getting his head ripped off by an elevator and then also being exploded is going out with a bang. What if they used the D-pads of those who've already died, the girl asked, presenting a third possibility.
それは盲点でしたわね。ですが指紋認証があるか
Just
ら
cut off all their
本人
fingers.
以外は使えない決まりでしょ。
Yeah, that could be a workaround, yes, but then again, they would each require fingerprint recognition, so only their owners could use them, correct?
指を死体から切り取って持ち運べ
Or
ば
just
良
like,
いだけでは。
if he wanted to kill Renegade this whole time, he would have just had to find tablets as he was going from the dead, open them, have them send the detonation order. Renegade, I feel you. Why not just cut off a finger from a corpse and take it with you, the girl replied.
あなた可愛いお顔なのに発想がデンジャラスですわね。
Gracious, what a dangerous mind you have lingering behind that sweet face.
ですが確かにあり得る可能性です。指の1本や2本でしたら持ち運びも容易ですしね。
Well, it is a possibility. One could easily carry around a severed finger or two.
もし犯人が八つ咲き校ならそれくらい平気でやるだろうね。
If the culprit is the quartering duke, it's definitely not out of the question for him. Addison
そういえ
Rae.
ば社畜さんや下道が通常とは異なる起爆方法があると言っていたよ。もしかしたらその方法を利用したのかも。
Oh, wait, Workaholic and Renegade mentioned an alternative method of triggering the detonation, right? Maybe the culprit used that instead.
なるほど。それは調べる必要がありますね。ありがとうございます。
Good point. That's something we'll need to look into. Thanks for bringing it up.
社畜ちゃんの検視も済んだわ。彼の死因は長時間の感電による心肺停止ね。
Also, we finished Workaholic's postmortem report. The cause of death is cardiopulmonary arrest due to prolonged electrocution.
胸の刺し傷など誰かと交戦した後も見られた
I
け
mean, I
ど
feel like they'd want to figure out why it
それは
happened.
ど
I
う
think
やら
that's an understandable
死因
thing.
とは無関係みたい。
Also, yeah, Posh, again, you're a Pinkerton. You've seen worse. The stab wounds on his chest imply that he fought someone, but they don't seem to have anything to do with how he actually died. Maybe he's just stabbed after the fact?
出入り口のシャッターに異変は見られなかった。この地下研究棟は僕らが来てから現在まで外部から完全に遮断された状態だね。
Also, there's nothing off about the shutter. The underground research facility was totally cut off from the outside ever since we arrived.
犯人はこの中にいるってことかな。
So that means the culprit is here somewhere. But we've all been moving about together, so our alibis line up perfectly. I am again reminded of Bookworm's remark about these killings being paradoxical. Both of them died at virtually the same time, one above ground and one below. If we fail to address that, then we won't solve this case. Everyone's gaze instinctively turns towards me. I get it. It's become something of a pattern for an investigation to only really get going after I give the word.
僕がやるしかないんだ。
I can do this. I have to. I speak aloud, trying to encourage myself. Ideal Detective isn't here, making this my first time taking charge all on my own. I'm nervous, but it's something I must do.
皆さん、僕たちはもう地上に上がって何もせずに助けを求めることができます。
Alright, everyone. We can just head to the surface and call for help, leaving all this
です
behind.
が僕たちは探偵。目の前で事件が起きた以上、捜査をする以外の選択肢はありません。
But we're detectives. Whenever a case presents itself, our only option is to investigate
僕た
it.
ちの目の前で引き起こされたこの悲劇を僕たちの手で覆してやりましょう。
A tragedy has occurred right before our eyes. It's up to us to revert. Why do they keep saying reverse it? I don't really get, like, I don't know. Yeah, true. Everything about these two deaths is bizarre. Our investigation begins as we strive to detangle this mystery. I do think, again, I think I've talked about this before. One of the weaknesses of a lot of these games where it's like, oh no, there's a bunch of death, is like, what's the incentive to solve it? Like, what do you have as a reason to want to do that? Because like in the Danganronpa games, it makes sense. That's part of the mechanic of the game, is that you have to figure out who did it because otherwise you get killed. So like, that's why there's an investigation going on. You don't just leave. But like, these guys could just leave. They really don't need to figure this one out now. Like, it's not urgent that they do this immediately. Also, an ad's about to play, so I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick. And then I'll be right back, and then we'll get to solving the case. We'll figure out who did a moida. Be right back. Alright, as we're exploring, we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna see who did what. Who done it? Who do we think it is? I mean, we've already got the prediction thing going. Oh, everyone's pretty split. As of right now, the predictions are 27% for Techie. I'm just mostly saying this because the VoD can't see the prediction thing. 27% for Techie, 17% for Gourmet in terms of like points allocated, 9% for Doleful, 47% for Renegade, and 0% for the others. Goddamn fossil, it was good. Thanks for asking. Anyways, okay. I do think that we're probably gonna fuck this one up a couple of times, especially because I want to get that residual thought or whatever that is over here. What is your detecting range? Inspection is 5.
どうしたの？
And also, I don't really know what this is. This is a little concerning to me, if I'm being honest. Like, we just got a couple of traps that are, like, gonna kill someone? Question mark? Whatever.
何か用かな？
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, I can't stand in the door. I have to go inside. Yeah, and again, like, they can still solve... Like, they can leave for now and then come back.
何か
I'm
用
trying to
か
move as
な？
little as possible into there so that I don't get
何
stuck.
か用かな？
Fuck me.
何か用かな？
I guess she has to come inside, or he has to come inside, whatever. It'll be fine.
何か用かな？
I don't remember who the groups are.
脅威の気配。
I think Renegade, Posh, and Incompetent were together. I think Bookworm and Techie were together. And then Gourmet and Doleful were together, I think. Oh, we're talking about just like overall culprit of this one. Let's do our preliminary. Wait, hold on. I was at the A and B buttons fucked up on this. There's something on the floor. It's the remote for the AC. What's it doing here? Interesting. So someone maybe rewired the AC to send the alert? But like, how and also why? Breaker shutting off.
少女は
Also,
目
I
し
think
た
my
ま
model
ま
is not in the right position.
一度う
I
な
guess
ず
I
い
move him
た
down a little bit more. Maybe that's... God, I can't say anything. No, it's... Good God. I think it's a little bit... I am struggling here. There, that looks like where it's supposed to be. AC to overload the breaker. That could also be true. But I don't know how you do that with the AC. Your analyzation is 1, which isn't ideal. But assistance is 4. Is 3. Your analyzation is 5. But for whatever reason, you can't get all the way over there, which is really dumb and annoying of you.
少女はこくりとうなずいてみせた。
お姉さんに何かご用？
Is there anyone who can get in there?
甘味完食雨あられ。
How do we... Also, I guess we do need to get somebody to... Wait, no, it's not analyze, it's inference. I'm dumb. Inference is 6. Okay, so she could clear that one by herself. Probably should, because there's no way that her analyzation skills would be any good
少
for
女
this
は苦
anyways.
笑する。少女はこくりとうなずいてみせた。独量です。
Maybe. No one mentioned it being cold. Excess electricity usage causes breakers to shut off. Father always warned me not to run the AC and the microwave at the same time. The culprit tripped the breakers, prompting a blackout without directly interfering with the distribution board. Okay, maybe it was with the AC then.
What どうされましたか？
I can't really see, like... Why are you not able to... Why is your movement so bad? Like, I thought you had pretty good movement. Yeah, 6 is not... 1, 2, 3. Actually, wait, no. We'll put him... We'll leave him alone for now. We'll see what we can find as we go. 4, 5, 6. Okay, she can get in there next turn, so we'll do that with her.
お姉さんに何かご用？
What if we put you
甘
here?
味完食雨あられ。
What's the analyzation of this? A 1 and a 3.
どうしました？
Oh wait, to do this, what do we need? We need inference for this again? I can't remember what the... Hold on. Fuck. I can't remember if it's residual thoughts that get inference or inspection or what the deal is with them. Someone who's played this before, please remind me. We haven't had a residual thought in a hot minute. Mm.
僕が解決しましょう。
I'm gonna put you here,
僕にご用ですか？
and we'll have you analyze this.
どんな証拠品だっ
Below
て
your
調
pay
べ
grade,
尽く
but
します。
whatever.
科学的に考えましょう。
Analysis shows that the temperature and speed were at max, and the timer was set to just before the crime. This was the culprit's doing, no doubt. Okay, yeah, so that was planned. PCs. Hold on, let me see if I can get... I want to look it up, but I also don't want to, like, spoil myself. Whatever. Process, elimination, residual thoughts. Wait, it's in the lexicon, apparently. It might actually be worth checking. Oh wait, we can't see the lexicon from in here, because why would we be able to? That would be silly. I love how everything is on fandom. Like how there's no way to find information fucking anything. Residual thought. How do I do the... I'm not looking up how to get through this. I'm looking up how do I activate a residual thought. I can't remember if it's like analysis or if it's inference or inspection or whatever, and I don't know what to do about it because I don't know what it is. I promise I'm not trying to like cheat. I'm legitimately just trying to figure out what the correct mechanic is for that, because for whatever reason there's not a thing in here that tells me anymore. That's not the right one. That's also not correct. That zooms out. Do I inspect this or do I analyze it? I don't know and I don't want to get it wrong.
甘味完食雨あられ。
Hey, P. Diddy. Yeah, I'm having so much fun trying to guess what the fuck the mechanic for this
どうか
is.
したの？でも
Here, we'll have her
これ
inspect
は証
this.
拠品なんてね。
Inspect it.
うん？
That's also
嗅いだことのある
advertising.
匂い
Progress
がす
finder
る
for
わね。
visitors. Why is it here? Well, yeah, we knew that was there. It is inspect?
どうしました？
Okay.
先生曰く調査こそが探偵の基本。
Oh, it is. Okay, thank God. I was just because I thought inference would make sense because that's kind of how it is with a lot of those things, but we've only seen one of them so far. I think the only one of these that we've gotten was the one with Doleful, I think, like right at the very beginning. Anyways, does this photo belong to Posh? Photo of happy employee for Pinkerton? No. After dinner, in my infinite wisdom, I reflect upon the day's events and chart our next course, as one would expect from a chief detective.
この屋敷に閉じ込められてから丸1日。とてもまずい状況ですわね。
New game plus yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Or that was what, I can't remember who was said that. It has been an entire 24 hours since our imprisonment within this manor, a rather precarious situation to say the least. Although we have access to ample provisions, morale will inevitably crumble in due time. I'm getting as oh, really? Oh, that might be part of it then, because I've not been doing great. Those with such temperaments as rowdies, blunt with a strong sense of justice, could run amok at any moment. I must keep them in check.
理想探偵ホームズさんならもっとうまくまとめたのでしょうね。
Though I feel ideal detective, that is, Holmes, would have done a finer job in doing so. I recall the face of my eternal competitor. Ultimately, I was never able to best her. A knock sounds out at the door, breaking me out of my reverie. Keeping my guard up, I open the door to see Workaholic. In his hands, he holds a teapot that I remember spotting in the dining room.
監視カメラの映像でまだ起きているのが見えてね。
Why are you spying on her in her
考え
room?
事があるならお茶でも飲みながら一緒にどうかな。
I saw on the security camera that you were still up. If there's something on your mind, would you like to discuss it over tea?
あら、庶民の割には気が利きますわね。そのお誘い、喜んでお受けいたしますわ。
My, aren't you a perceptive one for a commoner? I shall humbly accept your offer. Black tea is mental fuel for the noble woman, after all. Workaholic beckons me to sit on the bed before pouring into some cups on the desk. Thank you for the hydration check, Shiv. After adding in my preferred amount of sugar, he proffers the drink to me with meticulously practiced ease. The full-bodied aroma wafting up from the cups soothes my weary mind.
昨日からずっと無理をしているみたいだけど大丈夫かい？
From the looks of it, you've been overworking yourself since yesterday. Are you doing all right?
無理？無理など全くしていませんわよ。上流階級を舐めないでくださいまし。
Overworking myself? Preposterous. I'll thank you not to think so little of the aristocracy.
強がらなくていいよ。君はリーダーと本当に仲が良かったじゃないか。彼女もよく語っていたよ。家族くんはいつか必ず開花するとね。
No need to put on a strong front. Weren't you and the chief on close terms? She'd always go on about how you were going to blossom one day.
ホームズさんが私を？
Holmes said that about me? And in spite of her constant mockery, too, to think she would leave such a sentiment behind upon meeting her demise. The yellow-bellied coward. You are my life. So true. Wait, did it not... Did the sound alert not play? That's even funnier. I guess the sound alert's not participating. There it goes. It took a hot minute to get there. Maybe it's just a little bit tired today. It's taking some time. I nearly speak my vitriol aloud before I realize the words will not reach her, quietly swallowing my vexation.
君がピンカートン家再興のために
ピンカートン
どれほど身を削っているかはよく知っている。
I heard that Pinkertons. I'm well aware of your circumstances. Like, it's not even in the text. Like, for whatever reason, the localizers have removed at least some of the explicit references to the Pinkertons. It'd be sound, so true. I'm well aware of your circumstances, all the pressure you're under to rebuild your
身
family
辺を
standing.
調べられるリスクを承知でアーリアル・アラン・ピンカートンという本名まで公開して活動しているのは君くらいだ。素晴らしい覚悟だと思うよ。
Only you would continue to use your legal name in spite of all the risks, Ariel Allen Pinkerton. I find your commitment impressive, actually.
でも
Thank you for the jacket redeem
だ
shit.
からこそ心配でもあるんだ。みんなをかばって死んでいったリーダーのように君もまた
Yeah, like they're still doing fine. They're still around. They got
Mio
purchased by
Kezuri
Securitas something or other in Sweden, I think. Having said that, it's also cause for concern. I fear you'll grind yourself down to nothing, the way our old chief did when she died defending us. I want to make a video about it, but also I don't want to get caught up by the Pinkertons. He has me pegged. I feel my voice hitch in my throat. However, a proper chief cannot allow such commentary to faze them. Thus, I maintain a cool demeanor and give my reply.
私は上流階級ですから。庶民の皆さんの分まで身を削るのは上に立つ者の義務なのですわ。
Bear in mind, I am of society's upper crust. Thus, it is my duty to suffer on behalf of the common people.
私にはリーダーとしてホームズさんの分まで皆さんを守る義務がありますの。どうかお気になさらないでくださいまし。
As acting chief, I have an obligation to protect those around me for Holmes' sake as well, so please do not trouble yourself over this.
そうか。そうだよね。簡単に止められるな
She's
ら
not like other
君
Pinkertons.
自身だって苦労はしない。
Got it. You're right. If things were that simple, you wouldn't be struggling like
君が
this.
一人で抱え込まずに周囲と協力し合える日が来ることを心から祈っているよ。
I just hope the day comes and you let yourself cooperate with those around you rather than trying to shoulder everything on your own.
リーダーや私はもう手遅れだったからね。
It's too late for some folks like me and the old chief. There's some sort of a joke in there that I'm trying to think of like the she wears short skirts, I wear sneakers. I'm trying to think about like what would go in there, but I can't put it together. My brain's too small. Left in my own company, I began to ruminate upon his words.
ホームズさんや社畜さんは手遅れだったなんて私も変わりませんわよ。
It was too late for Holmes and Workaholic, was it? Bad to that. I refuse to change either. Since my birth, no other soul has tried in earnest to restore the Pinkerton name. Far from assisting my endeavors, many have taken to mockery instead. But trials by fire are all that I know, and I am of no mind to alter my methods.
ホームズさん安心してくださいまし。私がこの命に変えてもあなたの仇を取り皆さんを無事に家へ返してみせますわ。
Rest assured, Holmes, even if it should claim my life, I shall oust your killer and see this group home safely. We're down to 6. Well aware she cannot hear me, I voiced this proclamation to my lifelong rival nonetheless. Yeah, we're down to 6. Incompetent, doleful, posh, bookworm, gourmet, and techie.
ピンカートン家の誇りにかけて
How I don't realize that that's like her activation expression.
どうかなさいまして
Or it's one of them.
何かご用ですのどうかなさいましてピンカートン家の誇りにかけて
Yeah, like I kind of want to ask too. I just like I'm not angry about it. I don't want it to come across like I'm like furious that they've represented it this way. It's just like 5 references to the Pinkertons at least, yeah. But like
ピンカートン家の誇りにかけて
I didn't even notice the way that she says it until Puppo mentioned it at one point, and it just makes me laugh because like it's not about mocking the accent. It's just like it's such a like heavily stressed word. I don't know. It's so funny. I love it. Anyways, let's I guess analyze the
な
rubber
んて
wristband.
地味な作業
As a Pinkerton, I have deduced that this rubber wristband. This wristband glows in the dark. If it were on Workaholic, one could see him during the outage and delay his death until the ideal moment. It's not pink, it's pink. Why am I dying? Yeah, she's kind of a little bit like that, except I think Byakuya is actually from an organization, like his family has money, and hers, it seems like it's very clearly on the down and out. Alright, let's investigate. What was that? What was the, what? Is there like hidden movement down here? Because that's scary. I don't like
僕に
that.
ご用ですか？僕が解決しましょう。この足でもできる限りは調べますよ。これは
A blood stain. Whose blood is it? I need to analyze it. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the point. Is like, is there blood stain in the shower? That one's up at 15. Which one of you is better at inference? 6. Yeah, like she's really good at assistance too. It's not like she can't. Alright, we're gonna go to you.
何か用ですか？
We're gonna have you
少女は黙したまま
inspect.
めんどくさいと言いつつ
Thank you, Stitch. Investigation's going good so far. We're down 2. Workaholic and Renegade are both dead. I don't know much about these gadgets, but I do know this is a broken USB stick, the girl said, demonstrating her comprehensive knowledge. Yeah, we were looking at the art piece. Wait, where is the art piece earlier? Hold on. I think it's this one. Yeah, this one. It's so good. I mean, the full thing is also on Twitter, including the alternate version of it. Yeah, Renegade got his head popped off like twice over. It was a whole thing. I think what they've said so far is that like, what was it? Renegade got his head stuck in an elevator door, and then the elevator went down, and it ripped his head off, and then also the collar exploded. I mean, I think that this isn't, like, the assumption here is mostly just that, like, I think the Pinkertons are just down on their luck at this point, and I think the writers maybe just didn't think about that as much as you would expect. Do not go down there, that would be bad. I mean, we get a bunch of extra vocab words, but I don't think it's really worth it.
僕でよければ
Actually, yeah, your inference is 6, your assistance is 6. That would bring that down to 3. Darkness Urines for Orme. Yeah, he deserved it. I think we're gonna just like take you over like here. No, Podge isn't on assist yet. What? Oh no, she's gonna automatically do that, but I'm gonna change her setting.
僕でよければ
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna head down here as well.
頑張ります
Ooh, these will require 5. And we're kind of dumb. We'll do this.
これが事件の手がかりだ
Like drinking. Share. This book mentions the manor we stayed at. Its architect was a man named Maicho Aragi. I feel like I've heard of him before. I don't know why we would have heard of that before. Anyways, you've got level 5 analyzation. And if we do 6 here, and then we can combine these two for next round, I think that might be what we do.
何かご用ですの
You analyze this,
私の審美眼に震え
お姉さんに何か
and
ご
you'll
用
do inference on
歯
this.
応えがなさそうな謎ね
And then Doleful is still out here somewhere. Wait, Doleful, do you have, what's your analyzation? 2. Fuck. Or Pinkertons without a union skill ring. That's still true. Small in the cast. Well, like small in terms of like, there's not that many people that it could be realistically if it's within the cast. Like when there's like 12 people, like it's like early on in Danganronpa, it feels like it's not that hard to imagine someone doing it, but I feel like the longer it goes, the more you're like, shit, who could it be out of the remainder? Incompetent aside, only workaholic was bleeding. He fought somebody prior to being electrocuted and washed his wounds in the shower. And then I guess we'll just...
何か用かな
Because I don't think you can analyze anything, can you?
何か用か
Anything
な
that we have that still needs to be analyzed can be hit by... yeah. So I guess we'll just have you get a vocab word. Although we don't need you to be all the way in there.
どうしたの
We can have you like right here. That should still
何
hit.
か用かな
Yeah.
調査は僕に任せて
I think that's also everyone. Yeah, but I think it's in. This info hasn't been logged, I gotta tell everyone quick. We have a new keyword, but I don't know what the keyword is. And I think we've done everything from everyone, so we'll just move on. Okay, so I don't think those things are moving, but I do think that we need a skill to break through that trap, right? Or we need like the inference thing. Dear Lord.
僕が解決しましょう
Okay, we're gonna move you over here, so you're at least getting out of the shower, I guess.
僕が解決しましょう
And then you should be able to analyze the shadow
検証なら
USB.
任せてください
He's just gonna do his own thing. I don't really know why he's out there.
科学的に考えましょう
Okay, the memory chip is intact. There's a special method of triggering the collar saved on it. I'll do a thorough analysis and report back. Oh, okay. 20. So the traps require an inference of at least that level to get to them, I think. I'm worried that if I make Doleful like do a map-wide movement over here, that he'll walk through these and somehow end up dead, which I think would be kind of funny, but also probably not the right call. Only kill on the end of the turn. Okay, yeah. Let's see here. Well, I mean, you two. You're the one who's good at
どうか
inference.
したの歯応えがなさそうな謎ね
トン家の誇りにかけて
I wish I knew what the
トン家
translation.
の誇りにかけて
I wish I
皆さん
knew
のおかげで
what that
解けましたわ
dialogue was specifically saying, because it's really funny. I'm assuming it's like the Pinkertons are here to save the day. Workaholic's wrist burns prove he was shocked by the handcuffs. Maybe the electrocution was delayed by keeping the cuffs off the skin? The rubber wristband, I guess, maybe? I don't know. Because I remember, doesn't, what's her face? Gourmet walks into one of the traps early on, but her inference is high enough, so it just deletes it. I think was what happened there, right? Anyways, let's see.
何か
Your inference is a
少女に
6.
尋ねかける
This is an 11. Let's actually just figure out what everyone else has. Okay, I think we'll put these two over here. And then maybe we'll just send Doleful down here to start, like, getting rid of the traps. Because Doleful should be able to, because his inference is 4. So he should be able to, like, he would be able to eliminate any of these. Gourmet is, I don't know where Gourmet is at. She's over here. Her inference is 6 and she was able to survive in the picture. That makes sense.
どうしたの？
We're gonna move you down to, like, does it work if he's just like, if he just ends his turn in the trap? Does that also diffuse it, or does he have to, like, I mean, we're not in a huge rush to get out of here. We can always save scam. I don't really want to, though. We're just gonna put him here. It'll be fine. We'll figure it out from there, I guess. And then you will move map wide all the way over here. Yeah. Okay, pick up the pace a little bit here, Bookworm. Confirm.
僕でよければ
And then you'll come over here because you'll be assisting her. And then that's everyone. Okay, so you.
はいはい少女6両です
どうしたの
And then you're gonna assist.
力を僕は信じる
Preliminary to get that. It's clear that every computer in this room was forcefully cut off from the power supply. It means all of them were on when the blackout occurred, the girl said, presenting a fact that was clearly pertinent to the case. So they were all turned on and then their power was forcefully cut? When he wears high heels? Yeah, you see it in his corpse. Mm-hmm.
何か用かな？
Oh, I guess we don't... I mean, I think this just means to, like, walk into the trap by himself if nobody is there to stop him.
何か用かな？
But, like, you didn't just... Oh, wait. No, hold on. Do we need any more analysis of anything? No, okay. So, I mean, I guess you might as well just do some inference on this. There's nothing else for you to do
僕なんか
right
でも
here.
解けるかな？
I mean, I'm assuming that the computers have something to do with it. I just don't know.
雨あられ
We'll send you down here because your inference was high. She was literally a small girl. She can't run that. We're just gonna send these guys to get more of the keywords, I guess, because, like, realistically, we don't need them to. We've got a good few turns to go before it's all over.
どうかなさいまして
It doesn't really matter if we're just sending everyone a map-wide movement. We'll send you here. And then...
さあ実験を始めましょうか
I mean, we don't have anyone that hasn't been interviewing with, so we might as well just... Do, 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 do.
さあ実験を始めましょうか この足でもできる限りは調べますよ
So you got 2 more up here and 1 down here.
何かご用ですの翔子さん出てらっしゃい
僕でよければ
Oh I guess the risk might be that we might have to do more after we investigate the body. We'll figure it out. We'll be fine, I'm sure. You can do that.
少女はこくりと
You
うな
can
ず
do
いてみせ
this. I feel like every time I usually have enough turns to spare. Like, that's never really been the issue. Inference is 6, assistance is 4.
どうかしたの？歯ごたえがなさそうなのとね。
何か用かな。
Assist.
僕でもいいの？本当？
I mean, we've got everyone's set. We might as well just do the investigation. Well done, self. As always, we've come across some vital information. They're gonna knock out about 10 points of that one, I think. Yeah. Report this data to everyone else. You
少
are
女は目した
gonna
ま
do
ま
an inspection
根
right
気強
here.
く調べ
頑張るよ
ましょう。
You are gonna do an inspection right
少
here.
女は気合を
冷静
入れ
に調べよう。
何かご用ですの？
You are gonna do an inspection over here next turn. Let the body. Where's the body? Okay. Where is the body? Bitch, she's the body. Mm.
どうしたの？
Actually, you know what?
お姉さんに何かご用？お姉さんの鼻にお任せ。
何か用かな。
We'll have you do the analyzation because you're not going to be able to knock it out
何か用かな？
anyways. Or not the analyzation, the inference, whatever.
真相が見えたよ。
And you,
どうされましたか？
as those are being inspected, that's being inspected. I guess you can actually just come over here then. Wait, actually, what is your inference is low. Maybe we shouldn't send you over there. We'll put you like here or something, I guess. I don't really know. Hi, Kyoko, welcome in. How are you?
あら
This is a juicy bit of intel. Let me share it on my D-pad. Very intriguing, is the girl, imitating this genius physics professor of a certain TV show.
広い視野を持っ
New
て対応しない。
information. 3 hours remain. That's fine. We can totally do this.
どう
Alright.
かなさいまして？
You do a little bit of
私が見つ
inspection.
けて差し上げますわ。
どうしたの？
You do a little bit of
これが
inference.
答え。のはず。
And we're gonna see what happens. I'm so glad to hear it. Alright, so that one's been finished. Unlike Workaholic, Renegade Detective's body isn't actually wounded. Did he die in totally different circumstances, like by chance or something? We did it! We got the residual thoughts and all the keywords. Let's save here. We're gaming. We reconvene in the ground floor lobby after completing our investigation. Also, I think that this music has such a weird vibe. Also, the prediction is over. It's ended. So if you wanted to guess, time has passed for that. I wish I could open up it for more submissions. But for the folks at home, there are 4 people who have received guesses. The safe money is on Renegade at 54%. The odds are 1 to 185. 1.85, I guess. For Doleful, there's only 8%, which means the returns will be good there. Gourmet is at 15%, and Techie's at 23%. Everyone else is at 0. Solve the mystery. Final thoughts. I don't know what I'm gonna. I think I'm still a little bit all over the place with this one, but anyways, we reconvene in the ground floor lobby after completing our investigation.
こうしてようやく地上へ上がれたわけですけど、
I do think that
結局救助を呼ぶことは叶わないのですから、
realistically
意味がありま
probably
せんわ
killed.
ね。
Realistically probably killed Workaholic here. But then who killed Renegade is the thing. I don't want this game to be. I'm enjoying this one. At long last, we made it to the surface, though it's a hollow victory so long as we're unable to make a distress call.
でも地上に上がってさえいれば救助船が近づいた際に
Why would a
通
rescue
信
ship
可能だ
appear?
と思い
Nobody's
ま
called
す。
them. Still, at least we're above ground now. If a rescue ship appears, we should be able to
1
signal it.
週間以上も連絡が立たれているの
Yeah,
ですから
I don't know. I think
いつ救助が来てもおかしくありません。
I think if it's
地
Gourmet, I'd
上
be
に上が
surprised
れたの
because
はいいことですよ。
actually, I think Gourmet would be an annoying outcome because she really hasn't. I don't like it when they're just like, by the way, this person who said nothing, they did all of it, and there was really no way for you to know because they didn't do anything. We've been cut off from communication for over a week, so help should arrive at any moment. It's good that we're back up here.
ただ、
Also, wasn't this
そうなる
facility
と
just
問題にな
filled
る
with
のは
poison
社
gas?
畜さんたちが亡くなった事件を解決できていないことだ
Yeah,
ね。
we told them before. Is she someone who's very likely killed someone before? I don't think we know that. There's just one problem. We still don't know how Workaholic and Renegade Detective
もし
died.
万が一僕たちの中に犯人がいたら大変だ。救助が来るまでに真相を解き明かそう。
It would be a major problem if the culprit is in fact one of us. We need to find the truth before help arrives.
そうだね。
That is true, Trevor. She is
じゃあ
one
ま
great
ず
with
は
the knife, but I think
今回の事件を
A few of
一
them
つ
are
一つ
good
整理していこうか。
yeah, you're right. Let's start by getting the facts in this case in order.
一番の謎はやっぱり誰が下道ちゃんの首輪を起爆したのかということかしら。
I suppose the greatest mystery is who was it that triggered Renegade's collar?
確か下道ちゃんの首輪の起爆には
I mean,
彼の探偵デバイスに3人以上からコマンドが必要なのよ
did they have to be simultaneous commands?
1
Is
人
the
は社
thing.
畜ちゃんとして残り2人は誰だったのかしら。
Because if so, I think Bookworm and Techie were together. And Workaholic could have made contact with them after that last line. Oh no. Yeah, it required 3D pets to send a command to his right, or correct? If Workaholic was one, who were the other two?
下道探偵への殺意を胸に秘めていた人を仮にユダと呼ぶことに
I
し
don't know
ま
if they're
しょう。
Judases. Let's refer to whomever secretly harbors these murderous thoughts toward Renegade Detective as Judases for now. Like, he's
起爆
Judas.
に必要なコマンドは
I don't know who killed
3
Judas,
人
but-
分。社畜探偵は確実にコマンドを発信していたとして残りは2人分。
To reiterate, the detonation necessitates 3 commands. If Workaholic sent 1, we're left with
社
2.
畜探偵以外にも
I think, again, he's also the
2人
Nagito
の
of
ユ
this
ダ
whole
がいたという
this
こ
whole
とになり
situation.
ますね。と少女はあまり考えたくない可能性に言及した。
Meaning that there are 2 Judases apart from Workaholic, the girl said, hinting at a possibility she preferred not to consider. Unless Workaholic has some tablets. It would make sense that one of the groups could be, like one of the groups collaborated with him, but I don't know if...
大
There
丈
could
夫
be
だ
2
よ、
Judases
文
among
学さん。
us.
僕も最初はユダの存在を疑っ
As I
た。
investigated, I realized I was wrong.
でも捜査を進めてみて、それが間違いだって気づいたんだ。
It's okay, Bookworm. I suspected that there were Judases among us too at first, but as I investigated, I realized I was
僕らの
wrong.
中にはコマンドを発信した人はいない。
Oh, secret conditions. Okay.
犯人の策略にはめられ
Alright,
て
Renegade among us.
首輪の隠された起爆条件を満たしてしまったんだよ。
No one here could have sent a command. Renegade fell for the culprit's scheme, fulfilling the secret conditions to trigger his collar.
隠された起爆条件コマンドを発信する以外にどんな方法があったというの？
Secret conditions? What else was there besides sending those command words? She looks a little bit too shocked on that one. The rules were hidden on that broken USB. One of us should be able to explain it. Techie, yeah?
科学君、
Oh yeah, he said he was like gonna work on it and he was gonna come back to it later. Workaholic's death being a condition would also kind of make sense. Techie, you can explain it, right?
はい。施設内に落ちていた USB メモリの中に研究室の PC から持ち出された首輪の資料が入っていたんです。
Yes, that USB was found dropped in the facility. It contained the files that were taken from that PC in the lab, the ones regarding the colors. It would also explain why Workaholic wouldn't kill, or why Renegade wouldn't kill Workaholic directly when he probably could have.
おそらく踏み砕いた人は USB メモリを処分できたと思ったんでしょうね。記録領域自体は意外と小さいから粉々に砕けた後でもデータは無事だったんです。
Whoever smashed the USB hoped to destroy it, but its actual storage space is so tiny that the data was still intact after the fact.
芸道探偵の首輪にはどんなルールがあったと言いますの？
Thank you for the
そ
follow
の
down
ルー
there.
ルを生
Welcome
かす
in.
ことで犯人は芸道探偵を殺したんですわよね。
Just what sort of guidelines does Renegade's collar have? The culprit used them to kill the man himself, did they not?
はい。ルールを理解していた犯人は下道探偵が取るであろう行動を予想していたんだと思います。
Okay, so the culprit would have to be... The culprit understood these rules and predicted what steps Renegade would take.
下道探偵を
Okay,
殺
baby
すためなら
Gubbits Chase, how are
一
you?
人
Hi, hi.
命を賭する覚悟があったんだ。
In order to kill Renegade, they were prepared to put their own life at stake. Literally. Okay, so it was Workaholic then. What,
まさかその人って
you couldn't possibly mean... Okay, yeah, so Workaholic...
下道探偵を殺したのは社畜さんです。
So
彼は
Renegade...
この事件において被害者であると
Oh my
同
god,
時に
thank you.
加害者でもあったんですよ。
Renegade Detective's killer was Workaholic. He's both a victim and a culprit in this case.
彼は死ぬ間際にルールを生かして 下道探偵の首輪を起爆したんです。
He leveraged the rules by dying to detonate Renegade Detective's collar.
もったいぶるんじゃありませんわ。そのルールって何なんですの？
Enough with this putting on airs. What precisely are these rules?
それは監視者に設定された探偵が下道探偵の所有する探偵デバイスから半径10
What
メ
the
ートル以
fuck are
内に死ぬと
observers?
コマンドが発信されることです。
God damn, this is such a hidden role game. This is Blood on the Clock Tower all over again. If a detective designated as an observer died within a 10-meter radius of Renegade's D-pad, that would also trigger a command
この
message.
監視者に設定された人には心臓の鼓動と連動するチップが埋め込まれていて、心肺停止状態に陥ると自動でコマンドが発信されるようです。
Observers have a chip implant that connects to their heartbeat. An automatic command is sent if they go into cardiopulmonary arrest.
なんて恐ろしい話ですの。そもそ
So
も
who do we think are
監
the
視者とは
observers
一
then?
体
Ideal would be one. Probably, like that would make the most sense. I guess Workaholic was another. I don't know who the third would be. Senior detective, maybe. But that would require him to be within a 10-meter radius of Renegades specifically. Or maybe we're all observers. So what are these
それはわか
observers
りません
anyway?
ですが、誰がその監視者であったかは状況から察することはできます。
I couldn't answer that, but I can speculate who they are based on all that's happened so far.
まず社畜さん、この事件の渦中の人物だから間違いありません。次に僕だ。
This is such a
こ
good
れも
people.
社畜さんの
Yeah.
今までの行動からまず間違いないでしょう。
Posh's VA is very like I like her character overall. I just find the Pinkerton thing is so funny to me. First there's Workaholic. There's no doubt he's at the center of all this. Then there's me. Workaholic made that perfectly clear. But being an observer wouldn't require us to.
あなたの体内にもチップとやらが？
I don't think that doesn't make sense.
おそらくは僕はこの島で目覚めるまで数日間意識を失っていたから、その時に埋め込まれていたのかもしれません。
Because if he was asking for our help, would he be asking for like a murder suicide? Like would he be asking us to kill ourselves so that it would kill him? Like that wouldn't really make sense. Maybe we're all observers. That wouldn't actually be that illogical. What was it? You mean to say there's some manner of chip inside you? Yeah, I think I was unconscious for a few days before waking up on the island. It could have been implanted then.
もしくは社畜さんが知っていたことを考えると、
Oh, and they
10
were
年前の
implanted back
監
then.
禁事件の際に埋め込まれていた
I
か
don't
ら
know
です。
if it really makes sense for them to have been implanted
残
10
り
years
一人も
ago.
僕と同じ境遇ですし、おかしな話じゃないかと思います。
I mean, it could be ideal. Anyways, or actually, Workaholic knew, so it might have been implanted while I was captive 10 years ago. After all, the third person went through the same ordeal.
それじゃあ残りの一人って
Means the third observer is ideal. Yeah.
理想探偵だよ。
But also, there could be more than 3 observers.
彼女は僕が初対面の下道探偵に襲われた時
It
に
wouldn't actually be that
首輪の起
expensive.
爆を脅しの材料に使っていたから。
Realistically, all it is basically a glorified RFID chip. It would just have to have a lot of range, which I guess would make it more powerful. But presumably, the RFID chip would just need to be close enough to your own D-pad so that could then check for the 10-meter radius or the 10-foot radius or whatever. Yes, ideal detective. She threatened to detonate Renegade Detective's collar when he attacked me the first time we met.
理想探偵が死んだ際、おそらく下道探偵は10メートル以内にいた。だから一人分のコマンドがすでに発信されていたんだ。
He was likely within 10 meters of where Ideal Detective was killed, so one command has already been triggered.
つまり下道探偵は残り2人分のコマンドで死ぬ運命だったというわけですわ
It
ね。
doesn't need to be implanted in their heart. Pacemaker can keep track of heartbeats and all that sort of thing. I think. I don't know. I can't remember what that. Anyways, Renegade was destined to die after 2 more commands, essentially.
あれ理想さんが死んだ時下道探偵とはかなり距離が離れていた気がするよ。
Yeah, I didn't think anyone was really like everyone kind of ran fast. Huh? But I thought Renegade Detective was pretty far back away when Ideal died.
それに理想さんが亡くなってからもう1週間くらい経っているのにそのコマンドは残っていたのかな。
Not to mention, she's been dead for a week now. Does the command remain in effect?
私が記憶する限り10メートル以内かどうかというところだったわね。
Well, I mean, maybe the
ギリ
idea
ギ
is
リ
like
届いたか。
the
もしく
the
は
Detective Alliance
下
wants
道
to make
さ
sure
ん
that
の暴
like
走を予期してコマンドを発信済みだったんじゃないかしら。
in a scenario where like what happened to Mystic Detective, if Mystic was an observer and Renegade had been within 10 meters, it would have killed him if it was just one. Living kill switches is very morbid. It is a cool idea, but from what I recall, he might have just barely been in range. So either the command reached him or she expected him to go rogue and set it in
探偵は今
advance.
回みたいに 首輪をはめた対象と一緒に閉じ込められる事態も十分に考えられる立場。一度発信さえしてしまえば消えないでしょうからね。
It's plausible for a detective to wind up trapped with a collared individual just like we were, so once sent, the command probably wouldn't expire.
起爆に必要なコマンドの数が3つで監視者も3人。
Okay, so I guess that means that not everyone could have sent the command. The command only
起
can be
爆
sent by
はできない
observers.
わけですね。
I kind of thought that like the observer thing was like, because they kind of made it sound like anyone could send the command, but now it sounds like it's only the observers who could have. I thought the observers were just the ones who would have to die in order for the command to be sent as a kill switch. I think, I don't know, it makes sense to not have one, because especially like in this scenario, technically 2 people have died right near him that he didn't technically kill. But anyways. Detonation requires 3 commands, 1 each from 3 observers total. There's also no requirement that there's only 3 observers. Meaning you need consent from all of them to trigger the
社
caller.
畜探偵が無能探偵の説得をしつこく試みていたのも納得です。と少女はこれまでの出来事を思い返しながら言った。
That would explain why Workaholic pushed so hard to persuade you incompetent, the girl said, recollecting the events so far.
でも待って、死んだ時にコマンドが発信されるのは分かったけど、おかしくないかな。
Huh? Wait a sec, if a command gets sent at the time of death, isn't something still off? Yeah, he was in the elevator.
理想さんと社畜さんが亡くなった時にコマンドが発信されたとしても、あと1人分足りなくない？
Even if Ideal and Workaholic's commands were sent when they died, you'd still need another person,
足
right?
りないからこそ、社畜さんは無能くんの説得を続けていたんだよね。
Wasn't that the reason Workaholic was pressuring you so much incompetent to try and get you to go along with the plan? Well, the third person is still
そこが
missing,
謎だったんだ。
but also, like, it would have to be someone who triggered it after Workaholic died. Workaholic would have had to have been close, like, Workaholic would have had to have been close to Renegade when he died. He needs to be within 10 meters, and it would mean he'd have to be there. So, no, because if it was Senior and Ideal were the first 2, then the death of Workaholic would have triggered it after 10 seconds or whatever it is. Like, it takes a 10-second thing to activate, or maybe it activates right away if he doesn't peel off, whatever. That activation would have happened while Renegade was still with Workaholic. So whoever sent the final command must have sent it after he got in the elevator, I think. We were not passed out, I don't think. I don't think we passed out there. Maybe. Anyways, right, that's the tricky part.
その答えはすごくシンプルだった。実は
Oh, did he just send
通常
2?
時に発信するコマンドと心肺停止時に発信するコマンドは別
That's
扱
kind
い。
of dumb. The answer is easy, really. A normal command and one sent due to cardiopulmonary arrest are considered distinct from one
つまり
another.
事前にコマンドを発信した状態で死ぬと
Okay.
一人で2人分を賄うことができるんだ。
So if you sent a command and then died afterward, you would essentially be sending 2 commands.
どこにそんな情報が？社畜さんだって一言も言っていなかったじゃありませんの。
Where did you come across this information? I don't believe Workaholic ever spoke a word of this, did he?
ええ。それこそが社畜さんの仕掛けた罠だったんです。
Exactly, that was all part of his
きっ
trap.
と僕にしつこく迫っていたのも作戦の一つだったんだと思います。
Pressing me was part of the plan too.
交
I
渉に
bet.
乗らなければ起爆できない。そう思わせておいたからこそ、下道探偵は油断していた。
Pressing me was part of the plan too, I bet. Him not being able to detonate the collar without my help was just a lie to put Renegade off his
自分の
guard.
近くで社畜さんが死ぬと首輪が起爆するなんて思ってもいなかったでしょうね。
Yeah, I'm not. It's hard to tell. He probably had no clue that the collar would go off if Workaholic died nearby.
自分が芸道探偵を殺せればよし、返り討ちにあったとしても、
But again,
自分が殺されれば
then how did
相
he
打ち
get
には
into the
持って
elevator
いけ
before
る
it blew up? Workaholic would be thrilled so long as he slew Renegade. Even if things took a grim turn and he were killed, this would allow him to strike back.
社畜さんが命を懸けると言っていたのは決して誇張ではなかったということですわね。
It would appear that Workaholic's willingness to stake his life on this was no exaggeration.
社畜ちゃんは初めから死ぬつもりだったのかしら。
I have to wonder, did he intend to die from the very beginning?
それは違うんじゃないかな。
Or yes, no, he didn't have to
社畜さんは
die.
最後まで生きようとしていたのだと思う。
The deaths needed to happen near Renegade's D-pad, not near him. No, I don't think so. I think he tried to survive to the bitter end.
僕も同意見だよ。 最初から死ぬ気ならシカロウでわざわざあんな事件を引き起こす必要はないからね。
Yeah, I agree. If he'd always planned to give his life, he wouldn't have gone through so much trouble to commit that murder back in the
きっ
dungeon.
と社畜さんは万が一自分が死んだ時には相打ちにする覚悟で下道探偵とのケリをつけるつもりだったんだと思う。
But I think Workaholic was so determined to put an end to Renegade that he was prepared for the slim chance they'd end up going to the grave together.
下道探偵にこのコマンドのルールを知られたら台無しだ。 PC から USB メモリを使ってデータを抜き出すことでルールがバレないよう細工したんだろうね。
But it'd all be in vain if Renegade knew how the commands worked. Workaholic tried to keep him unaware by extracting the PC's data onto the USB.
そして社畜ちゃんは危惧していた通り下道ちゃんに殺されて、そのせいで下道ちゃんも死んでしまう。
But as
最後
Workaholic,
まで因縁深い
God damn
二
it.
人ね。
but as Workaholic feared, he was killed by Renegade, causing the latter to die in turn. Their fates remained entwined until the end.
ちょっとお待ちなさい。芸道探偵が社畜さんを殺したとして、あの男はどのような方法で殺したと言いますの？
Hold on a moment. If Renegade really did kill Workaholic, how did he go about
社
it?
畜さんが殺される間際まで、私と無能さんは芸道探偵と交戦しておりましたのよ。
Incompetent and I were locked in combat against Renegade right up until Workaholic was murdered. That's really interesting that you're considering yourself to have been in combat there
芸
too.
道探偵を擁護するようで気分はよくありませんが、彼にはブレーカーを落とすことも社畜さんを拘束することも不可能だったと思いますわ。
While I despise coming to Renegade's defense like this, I am reluctant to believe he was able to trip the breakers or restrain Workaholic.
感電させたトリックはとても単純ですよ。犯人
Yeah,
は
this was
とあ
with
る
the
手段を
AC
用いて
units.
感電のタイミングを操作してみせたんです。
The electrocution involved a very simple trick. You see, the culprit had a system in place to control the timing of the outage. Electrocution only requires an active current. In other words, you won't be shocked so long as the electricity isn't flowing. But he would have had to have already made the elevate, like, cause his head got blown off on the upper level, not on the lower one. So it would have had to have taken the time for him to get up there. And it seems like they set off a different, like he set off a different collar bomb in there already. I mean, it might be, but then the head wouldn't have been blown out into the next room. Because the thing is, like, he was decapitated before the collar went is what they're generally assuming. And even if he wasn't, like, because if the collar blew up, his head would be popped off. The reason why his head was decapitated before the collar went is that he got his head ripped off by the elevator. Which would explain why his body was, like, slumped up against it. And then the head just exploded afterwards. But there would have to be such a long delay between then and when he died. This case appears complex, but it's actually a fairly basic gimmick. The electrician's timing was controlled by... in causing a blackout? Yeah.
犯人は意図的に停電を起こすことで感電のタイミングを操ったんですよ。
That's right. The culprit controlled the timing of the electrocution by intentionally causing a blackout.
あの停電は確かに作為的でしたけど、停電中に感電をさせる準備など可能ですの？
The outage was certainly deliberate, but could one truly arrange an electrocution right in the middle of
こ
it?
の施設で照明が消えるとライトなしでは前だって見えませんのに。
When the facility went dark, we were unable to see a thing without a light source.
察
But
しが
there
悪
was a
い
glow in the
上
dark,
流階級ですね。
a glow in the dark
呆れつつも
bracelet that would have let him see where he
少女は
was.
聖母のような慈愛の心でもって解説を始める。
Such lowbrow intuition for one so high class, the girl said. Despite her vexation, she carries on with a benevolence rivaling the Virgin Mary's.
発見された時はこの状態。手錠が体に接していて、水に濡れた
He
状
was also
態なら
repeatedly stabbed,
簡
though.
単に感電するでし
So,
ょう。
like, recall the condition Workaholic was found in. With him in handcuffs and doused in water, it'd be easy to electrocute him.
人をこの状態で拘束するのは難儀しそうですわね。ブレーカーが落ちてから再び照明が点灯するまでの数分ではとても難しそうですわ。
It would prove difficult to restrain a person in this manner. You'd only have a few minutes from the breaker tripping to the lights returning.
そうですね。ですが犯人は簡単な道具を用いて感電しない状態を作り出しました。
Perhaps so, but the culprit used a simple tool to create a setup that hindered electrocution.
それが何なのかは無能探偵、あなたならわかるでしょう。と少女はいつもの仕返しと言わんばかりに質問する。
Okay, so The theory that I think they had originally was that he was decapitated before the collar went off because somehow he ended up with his head stuck in the elevator door at the top floor. Then the elevator moved back down automatically, which ripped his head off, and then the explosion went off in the elevator door, propelling his decapitated head into the upper lobby. But then the question is, yeah, like, why did he get his head stuck in, like, what happened to him in there that the elevator would get, I don't know. You know what was used, right? Incompetent detective asked the girl, passing the bucket she so often did. Yes, I think that's what they're saying, Monica, but that also wouldn't make any sense because, like, those things happen so far apart, and he would have been so high up that there's no way that the collar would have been within 10 meters, or the D-pad, unless he left the D-pad with him, I guess. The unexpected question startles me. But it's fine, I've been keeping up with our investigation, so a question like this is no problem. It was the rubber wristband.
近くの床に落ちていたゴム製のリストバンドだよね。
It was the rubber wristband on the floor nearby, wasn't it?
それって研究室にも置かれていた来客用のゴムバンド？
Isn't that one of those visitor bands from the lab?
ロックの解除用に社畜ちゃんが身につけていたのはわかるとして、どうして現場にも落ちてたのか不思議だったわ。
Workaholic used one to unlock the doors. It seems strange for it to end up on the floor of the crime scene.
もちろん偶然じゃありません。犯人はこのリストバンドを生かして社畜さんを感電死させたんですよ。
Obviously, it's no coincidence. This wristband was instrumental to how the culprit electrocuted Workaholic.
まず停電前の社畜さんはこのリストバンドを手首につけられた状態で拘束されていた。
Before the outage, Workaholic was restrained while wearing the
その
wristband.
状態ならいくら電気が流れていたって
I don't think that's
リスト
enough
バ
of
ン
an
ドが自
insulator
然体の
given
役
that
目を果
like
たして
a
感電を
live
防げる
main
という
wire
寸法で
was
す。
cut into a pool of water that he was sitting in, and also the handcuffs, but whatever. That way it wouldn't matter if the current was on. The band would act as an insulator, stopping the electricity from reaching him.
あとは停電の間にリストバンドを手首から外して電気を流せば感電は不可避。
Then, once the power was out, the culprit removed the wristband, ensuring electrocution would recur once the power
私たちが
returned.
到着するまでの数分間感電し続ければ
Oh god.
どうあがいても死ぬという寸法です。
No, Renegade put the this
少
button
女は
kills
無
sign
能
was
探
on the
偵の推
inside.
理を鮮やかにフォローした。
Like, I do think that there's, like, I think they must have jerry-rigged something with the elevator buttons to make that be a signal. Just like VidCon? Oh my god, no, it was more like Tanacon. And the current flowed for minutes before we arrived. No amount of struggling would have saved off death, the girl said, contemplating incompetence theory.
でも停電
When
中だ
Renegade
よ。
would push the button, that would make sense
あ
for
の
him.
暗闇の中どうやってリストバンドを外したの？
But there was a blackout, remember? How did they remove the wristband in the dark?
あのリストバンドは地下牢の塗料と同じで暗闇で光る仕様なんだ。
Did Posh push the
暗闇の
button?
中でも
I don't think she
社
said
畜さん
that.
の居場所を把握することは難しくない。
Doleful found the thing. But anyways, the band is phosphorant, just like the paint in the dungeon. It would have been hard, or it wouldn't have been hard to locate him even in
も
the
ちろん
dark.
あのブレーカーも狙って落としたもの。最初から全て仕組まれていた事件だったんだよ。
Of course. In fact, tripping the breakers was part of their plan too. The whole thing was orchestrated from the start.
ではブレーカーを落とした人が犯人ですわね。誰が電気機器に触れてブレーカーを落としたんですの？
So whoever shut off the circuits is the culprit. Who was it that or touched the distribution board and disrupted the power?
ブレーカーは一人でに自動で落ちたんです。
Yeah, the thing is, the breakers tripped on their own. I beg your pardon.
そんなことできるわけないじゃありませんの。いくら私が世間知らずの上流階級であったとしてもなめないでいただきたいですわ。
That couldn't possibly be the case. A noblewoman such as myself may be ignorant in the ways of the world, but do not take me for a fool.
それができるんです。そう。例えばもうすぐこの部屋の電気も消えます。
Actually, it is possible. In fact, the lights in here are about to go out again shortly.
電気が一人でに？
Of their own volition?
飛躍くん、ブレーカーを戻してきてもらえるかな。
Dolful, can you reset the breakers?
任せて。
On it. Imagine if Dolful got murdered on the way out there and there's like a whole other case going on. That would be kind of... Honestly, that'd be really fun. After a moment, the room's lights flicker back on.
ほら、手を触れずにブレーカーを落とせたでしょ。
See? He can cut off the power without messing with the breakers.
もったいぶらずに早くトリックを教えなさい。上流階級にもわかるよ、丁寧にね。
Dispense with your showboating and tell us how it works, in nobleman's terms, if you please. Yeah, that's true. Urged on by Pasha, I began my explanation.
僕らが研究室のエアコンをつけた時、風でマウスが動いて勝手に PC が起動したことを覚えて
Oh,
ますか？
so the AC wasn't. The AC itself didn't trip it. The AC pushed the mouse, and the mouse turned on the PC. When we turned on the lab's AC, the airstream moved the mouse, causing the PC to boot itself up, correct?
覚えていますわ。スリープ状態にしてあった PC がエアコンの風でマウスが動いて起動したんですわよね。それがどうしましたの？
I recall. The computer was asleep, but when the air conditioning jostled the mouse, it awoke. Your point being?
あの時と同じ原理で全ての研究室の PC を同時に起動させたんですよ。
I see. Using the same principle, the culprit turned on all the lab's PCs at the same time. Yeah, look, this was the issue that we had the first time it happened, where the aircon turned on the first computer. Like, bitch, no. That's not how that works. But also then, that would imply that it was one of the people who was in there. Because not everybody saw that. Renegade and Workaholic both didn't know that that would happen. So, is it... Let's see. What if... It could be Posh. And she's just faking all of this ignorance about how that works. And she saw that happen the first go round. She set up the air conditioning. She did all this stuff. She was working with Workaholic because she's pretty high, right? Isn't she like 4th? Like she's like number 4 or something. Like she's pretty high up there. She's number 5 among the Pinkertons. Oh, she's also 21. Oh, I thought she was a teenager too. Anyways, so she might have been high enough up to become an observer herself. So maybe Workaholic was working with her. He set it up so that she would help him die, and she would send the final command afterwards. What are you saying? The motive for Pasha's cooperation, he killed a bunch of her... Or Renegade is a monster who killed multiple people. Maybe she wanted the glory of killing the bad guys to restore her family name? I don't know. Anyways, using the same principle, the culprit turned on all the lab species at the same
研
time.
究室のエアコンは強力です。スリープ状態にしておけば、一度に全ての
But also,
PC を起動させることも可
Your
能だと
AC
思い
would
ま
have
せ
to
ん
be
か？
fucking nuclear to get there. Yeah, Posh being very confused is kind of funny to me. It could also be Gourmet. Maybe she should get away with all of it. Motive is revenge. I think it's more preventing more casualties. Maybe. Anyways, the AC in the lab is powerful. If the computers were all in sleep mode, isn't it possible for them to all wake up at the same time?
どんな家電も起動時が一番電力を食いますからね。あれだけの数の PC が一度に起動すれば、
A computer in sleep
瞬間
mode
的に電
isn't
力が跳ね上がっ
asleep.
てブレーカ
Or
ー
it
は落ちて
isn't,
し
a
まい
computer
ま
in
す。
sleep mode isn't off and it's not being turned on. It's just idle. I don't know. For any appliance, it's the startup that consumes the most power. Turning on that many PCs at the same time caused a spike, tripping the breakers.
それに、エアコンには指定した時間に起動する機能もあります。事前に準備だけしておけば、
Yeah, but also,
あとはエアコンが起動するのを待つだけでいいんです。
how on earth would you... Also, we haven't done anything about the blood that was in the shower. But, like, how would you know how to time all of that? Because Renegade didn't know how long the fight with us was gonna last, right? Also, the AC has a feature where you can set it to switch on at a certain time. Arrange things beforehand, and all you have to do is wait.
なるほど。このトリッ
I'm
クを
really
使え
hoping
ば
that this isn't some
自分が
inescapable
好きな時
bullshit where
刻
it's
に
like
停電す
actually
ること
everyone
が可能
except
で
for
すわ
incompetent
ね。
participated in the murder. Because we thought he was the bad guy. Where's Holden? Yeah. By using this maneuver, one could trigger a blackout whenever they so wished.
芸道探偵はこのようにして私たちと交戦することでアリバイを作りつつ社畜さんを殺害してみせたということですわね。
Thus, Renegade Detective laid this trap, murdering Workaholic while fighting us to create an alibi.
でもその直後下道探偵自身も無残な死を遂げた。無能くん、あの後下道探偵の身に何が起きたの？この事件の全容を教えて。
But not long after, he himself met a cruel end. What happened to Renegade Detective Incompetent? Tell us the full story.
わかった。改めて、一から順を追って説明するよ。
Okay, I'll go over it all from the
異
beginning.
なる階層でほぼ同時に起きた。
Again, we haven't addressed the blood in the elevator. I don't know what that's about, but whatever. Everything that brought about this bizarre case that occurred simultaneously on multiple
前提と
floors.
して、この事件はつながっているように見えて、実は全く別の事件。 2つの死が結果的につながったことで起きたものだった。
We presumed these cases were linked, but in truth, they're completely separate events, ultimately resulting in two connected deaths.
まず被害者の一人である社畜さんは、たとえ自分が死んでも下道探偵を殺せるようコマンドを発信していた。
First off, Workaholic, one of the victims, sent a command so he could kill Renegade, even in the event of his own death.
ルール上、あとは僕がコマンドを発信するか、社畜さんが死ぬことで
But his heart has to stop
下道探
within
偵の
10
首輪は爆
meters
発する状態だったん
of
だ。
the D-pad, which is just such a like... I don't know, according to the rules, if I had also sent a command or if Workaholic's heart stopped, Renegade's collar would detonate.
そうとは知らず、下道探偵は社畜さんと僕らを追い込むべく行動を始めた。
Unaware of all of this, Renegade detectives started to corral us in Workaholic.
遺体の状態からして、きっと下道探偵は僕らを施設内アナウンスで呼び寄せる前
So
に
he's just tied up
社
in
畜
the
さんと交
bathroom,
戦
I
し、
guess.
どこかに拘束していたんだろうね。
Given the state of the body, Renegade clashed with Workaholic and tied him up somewhere before luring us in using an announcement.
家族さんを人質に取ることに成功した下道探偵は、ブレーカーを落とすための細工と社畜さんを
How
感
did you
電
guys
死させるた
not
めの
notice
準
him
備を始め
wandering
た。
around this whole time? Like, this isn't that big of a space, it doesn't seem like. The blood in the shower was... Oh, that would actually kind of make sense, wouldn't it? Because he was soaking wet, and they haven't really addressed that, and I thought maybe a pipe had burst or something, but if he was in the showers and, like, the showers were running on him for whatever reason, then maybe? Because, like, it is a huge puddle of water around him, and Renegade wasn't wet. Whatever. Once Posh was successfully taken hostage, he began making preparations to shut off the breakers and electrocute Workaholic.
トリックはとてもシンプルだ。
And he's very
気
incompetent
絶させ
also
た
there
社
too.
畜さんを手錠で拘束して、ゴムバンドで絶縁状態にし、手錠を電線とつなぐ。
It was a simple trick. He cuffed the unconscious Workaholic using the wristband as an insulator. Then he attached the wires to the cuff.
これでゴムバンドさえ外せば感電死させられる状態の完成。
Oh,
あとは呼びつけた無能さんと
maybe
ブ
the
レー
reason
カ
why
ーが
the-
落ちるまでやり合えばトリックを完遂できますね。
Okay, so maybe the reason why the explosion didn't happen immediately is because the chip was tricked into thinking his heart was still active because of the electrical current. And then only once they'd removed him from it did they actually, like, did it activate the chip? But then he should have been too far away. I don't get that. Remove the band and Workaholic would fry. All he had to do was carry out his scheme, or all he had to do to carry out his scheme was lure in and fight incompetent until the breakers tripped.
おそらく無能さんへの嫌がらせじみた行動も私たちを分断させるための罠だったのでしょうね。
The appalling actions he directed at incompetent were merely a gambit with which to divide our
結果
ranks.
的に私たちは人数の利を生かせずにバラバラに行動してしまったのですから。
Ultimately, we failed to capitalize on our superior numbers, causing our efforts to be disjointed.
僕らは結局、あの男に踊らされっぱなしでしたね。
Yeah, he had us on his ring the whole time. Well, was he
下道
trying
探
to...
偵は
I mean,
計画
because he
通
was
り
trying
ブ
to
レー
kill
カーが
him.
落ちた隙に逃走。
And if he had succeeded, that would have also set off the trap. As planned, the breaker shut off and Renegade used that opening to slip away. From there, he hurried to where Workaholic was tied up.
ゴムバンドの発光を頼りに、素早く社畜さんの腕からゴムバンドを引き剥がすと、分電盤へと戻り、ブレーカーを上げた。すると、
He located the glowing band, slipped it off Workaholic's arm, went to the distribution board, and reset the breaker. And then...
絶縁体を失った社畜さんはなすべなく感電して同時に消火栓にも電気が流れて非常ベルが鳴るというわけだね。
With no insulation, Workaholic was helplessly electrocuted. At the same time, power went to the fire hydrant, triggering the alarm, right?
非常ベルが鳴ったの
He wasn't aware
は
of that
偶
condition.
然なのかもしれないわね。ほ
Maybe,
ら、下道ちゃんってばたくさん首輪を持っていたじゃない？
maybe the alarm going off was a coincidence. Renegade had plenty of collars with him, right?
本当ならあれを爆破させることで私たちを誘導するつもりだったんじゃないかしら。
It could be that he originally planned to lead us around by making them explode.
つまりどちらにせよ私たちの注意を引くためにあのようなまどろこしい殺害方法を取ったわけですねと少女は結論を述べた。
I wonder if he was an observer. Maybe that's what happened. Okay. What if somehow they made Renegade an observer to himself and he didn't know? So he tried to send a command from his D-pad to blow up a different, or one of the collars, and then that was why it didn't get triggered until he was up there. Because maybe Ideal was too far away, so it didn't count that one, and Workaholic counted for 2. And then for whatever reason, like, because they said that he tried to maybe use a collar to blow open the elevator door for some reason, I don't know. And so maybe that happened and he tried to do that and it blew open the door, and then also, but I don't know, I'm all over the place. Yeah, I would explain him being decapitated before the detonation, kinda. Oh wait, no, yeah, that would make sense. He didn't send that. He got trapped in the elevator door. He was an observer. For whatever reason, like, I don't know why he would get trapped in the elevator door. But then the elevator went down, ripping off his head, which would indicate that he died, and he would have been within 10 meters of his D-pad, which would have exploded him. That would make sense. Yeah, okay. Either way, he used that drawn-out murder method as a means of getting our attention, because that would make sense in terms of, like, ensuring that, like, that would make the timing make a lot more sense, and also would kind of make sense that they would force him to be an observer so that he couldn't, like, if his heart, like, he couldn't just stop his own heart to get out of it. Because that doesn't, like, Renegade can survive a lot. He's the invincible detective, so, or at least it sounds like he is. So yeah.
きっとそうだよ。犯人の狙い通り、非常ベルに
And then it just begs the question of why he got his head ripped off to begin
地上へ
with.
の脱出を図る下道探偵に気づくのが遅れた。
Exactly. Just like the culprit intended, we were distracted by the alarm and slow to realize that Renegade was riding the elevator to the surface.
でも下道探偵は社畜さんを殺すことが自分の首輪が起爆の条件を満たしてしまうことに気づけなかった。
But Renegade Detective never figured out that killing Workaholic would fulfill the conditions to trigger his
そ
collar.
の結果、下道探偵自身も死ぬことになって
But that also doesn't seem like that's what they're
連鎖
going
的
for
に事
here.
件が発生。
Yeah, like
そ
that
れ
would
ぞれ
make
の
sense.
異なる
Galaxy.
思惑が偶然重なった結果、奇妙な構造を生むことになったんだ。
As a result, he himself died, creating a case built on chain reactions. The different goals aligned, forming a bizarre picture for us to piece together.
でもそうなると下道ちゃんの死に方が妙じゃないかしら。
Still, doesn't that leave the actual manner of Renegade's death in question?
捜査前に共有を受けた話ですと、芸道探偵の死因は首輪の爆発ではなくエレベーターに首を挟まれたことですわよね。
Excuse me. You said so before our investigation. Renegade's death was not due to the collar's detonation, but by getting his head stuck in the elevator, no?
おそらくエレベーターの扉が不調で動かなかったんですよ。
The elevator doors wouldn't budge, probably because it was
この階
broken.
にエレベーターがついた時も力ずくで開けましたよね。きっと下道探偵も同じ状況に陥ったんです。
But then why were they broken? That doesn't really make any sense. We had to force them apart when it arrived on this floor too, right? Renegade must have faced the same situation.
そっか。下道探偵は片腕を失ってたから首輪の爆発でこじ開けようとしたんだね。
I see. Having lost an arm, he used the collars to blow it open.
それでも生まれた隙間はわずかだったから。
Oh, so they're saying this was just an
なかなか
accident?
そうしている間に
Yeah, he just stuck his head. It's so stupid. He only managed to make a small gap and struggled through it. At the same time,
エレベーターが動き出して死んでしまったということですわね。
yeah, like that seems like a
あ
really
の下
weird
道探
flaw.
偵にしては少々おまぬけな最後なのが気
Yeah,
にな
because
る
the
とこ
elevator
ろ
door
ですけれ
were
ど。
the elevator door opened fine at the bottom, and then didn't at the top for some reason. Like somehow it got broken in the middle of all that, and I don't really understand how. The elevator began to move, and he perished. Oddly foolish final moments for a man like him.
きっとさすがの下道探偵も焦っていたんだよ。エレベーターのボタンに押したら死ぬなんておかしな張り紙をするくらいだしね。
That is extremely funny that that's how he went out like a fucking chump. I'm sure that even Renegade would panic then. He also left that strange note on the elevator button, warning this button may cause death. Yeah, so then he presumably must have been the last observer.
首輪が起爆するまで猶予があることも知らないからね。気が動転。
Wait. How would he have time to leave the note on the elevator button? Oh, wait, no, okay, so they're saying that he left the oh, I thought that panel, okay, I thought that was on like the panel on the inside of the elevator. So he left the note there saying, warning this button might, no, but that wouldn't really, what? Also, we didn't find that until we went upstairs, right? Whatever. Makes sense he would lose his cool and start acting out. Uh-oh, Buppo. I need you for moderator. Essentially, each of these two deaths was inadvertently caused by the other. It seemed like an unsolvable double murder at first, but the perpetrator unwittingly took their own life when they killed Workaholic. Moita the bot. The culprit is obvious. I don't think it is, though. Like, I get the culprit... I mean, I guess Renegade must be the culprit, right? Because he killed Workaholic, which then killed him, is what they're gonna say. Hell yeah, Bubbo. That must be it, right?
そう機動探偵こそが今回の2つの事件を引き起こした犯人。
God, the music is so good. I did let you do your job. I didn't do anything. Oh, never mind. I thought you were angry at me. That's right. Renegade Detective is the culprit responsible for both murders. Suddenly, the face Renegade wore in death flashes through my mind. I don't like that.
機動探偵は笑っていた。
Renegade Detective was smiling. He should have been panicking as his doom drew near. That explained why he did something so illogical. But his satisfied expression gives me pause.
本当に僕の推理は正しい
We're
の
not choosing the outcome yet. Is my theory actually right? If Renegade Detective is the culprit, this case is closed. The most suspicious person of all got what was coming to him, death. Workaholic and Renegade. Their bond ended in mutual destruction. It leaves a bitter taste, but from here, all we need to do is wait for help without any further mishaps. It's the best possible outcome for us. So why am I still so uneasy?
ああそうか。
Oh, right. I realize why my concern lingers. It's my lack of faith in my own abilities. Okay, that's not why, but I mean, you don't have abilities, and you should have a lack of faith in them, but that's different. In the end, I still have no confidence. Until now, Holmes had always been there to keep me afloat. When I was uncertain, she'd smile and tell me it was okay. She was my courage. But now, she's nowhere to be found. Not having her here makes it really hit home just how much support she gave me.
ホームズさん、僕のこの推理は正しいんですか？教えてください。もう一度姿を見せてください。ホームズさん。
Holmes, is my line of reasoning correct here? Please, tell me, Holmes. Show yourself to me, Holmes. Please. Show me to me, Rachel. Show it to me. Uh-oh. Just then, sparks flare past my eyes. And my perfectly clear vision goes white. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O. That's not good.
この光景は。
What am I looking at?
最後の最後でこんな結末を見てしまうとは、やはり理想探偵の役割など担うものではないな。
If this is the vision at the end of the tunnel, then it would seem you won't be carrying on the ideal detective name after all. I hear the voice of someone I've longed to see.
サイカちゃん。
Saika. That name from so long ago slips past my lips. Holmes offers a sweet smile in reply.
ああ、よかった。やっとその名前で呼んでくれた
Uh-oh,
な。
Spaghetti-O. Oh good, you're finally calling me by that
君も
name.
思い出した通り、私は君からさん付けなどされる女じゃなかったんだ。なんだかずっと脇腹を見
No,
させら
Trevor,
れ
don't
て
be
いるよ
silly. I
うな
don't think we're
心
that
地
close to the
で
end
む
yet.
ずがゆかったよ。
You ought to remember now, you were never so professional around me. It always felt off, like someone was constantly poking at my ribs.
どうしてずっと姿を見せてくれなかったの？それにこの空間って。
Why were you gone for so long? And where is this?
最初に言っただろ。今の私は死に際の後悔が生んだ残留思念だ。
I told you that at the beginning, didn't I? My final regrets birthed me as a residual memory.
私はかつて君に守られたことで君の担うはずだった理想探偵としての運命を肩代わりした。
You protected me once, so I took your place, assuming the mantle of ideal detective that was intended to fall on your shoulders. See, I still don't get this. Because... What do you mean that ideal detective is a mantle that you can take on? Isn't it an ability that develops under stress? Like, can they just transfer it? Oh my god, are we getting an obligatory bad end? That would be funny. You protected me once, so I took your place, assuming the mantle of ideal
だが
detective.
情けなくも志半ばで八つ咲公に敗れ命を落とした。このままでは何も知らない君にもう一度理想探偵の役割を担わせてしまう。
But alas, I lost the Duke slain before I could achieve my aims. And now, in spite of all that you lack, you are to become my ideal detective once
その
more.
罪悪感が生んだ存在こそ今の私だ。故に君が全てを思い出した今、お役御免となったわけさ。
Ultimately, I am a product of my own guilt. As such, you remembering everything has now relieved me of my
徐
duty.
々に意識の落ちる時間が伸びていったのも君の記憶が取り戻されていたからだよ。果たすべき使命を全うするに従って私の存在は脆弱になっていったのさ。
My downtime has been steadily increasing as you regain your memories. My existence continues to fade as my mission nears
間もな
completion.
く私の意識は完全に消滅し二度と会話することも叶わなくなる。私的に語るならば
Are we gonna get a bad end because we didn't know
二度目の
enough, and then we're gonna have to do New Game Plus where we don't have ideal and we have to do it all ourselves? That would be kind of interesting, actually. Soon my consciousness will be completely gone, and never more will we be able to speak. To put it poetically, I shall suffer a second death.
二度目の死ってもう会えないってこと？
A second death? Does that mean we'll never get to meet again?
そうなるかな。
I wonder.
待ってよ。ようやく君のことを思い出せたのに、そんなのあんまりだよ。
Wait, but I finally remembered who you are. This isn't fair. Are you lurching forward like that? I reached my hand out to touch Saika, but my hand slipped through her like I'm grasping at fog. I can see her so clearly, yet I can't even feel her.
そんな前は夢の中なら触れられたのに。
What? But I was able to touch you before in my dreams.
悲しまないでくれ、ワト君。本当なら私はあの時君とろくに言葉も交わせずに死んでいたんだ。
Don't be sad, Watto. In reality, I died after sharing only a few words
悲
with
劇
you.
ばかり見せるエンドシーングなど心底嫌いだったが、こうして私たちをもう一度出会わせてくれたのだ
Really
か
funny,
ら
Trevor.
少しは感謝しないとな。
I detested the denouement for showing nothing but tragedy. Still, it did let us see each other one last time, so for that I'm thankful.
やだよ。まだ行かないでよ、サイカちゃん。
Don't go yet, Saika.
まだ僕は探偵として全然未熟だよ。
What is he even
話し
teaching
たい
you?
ことがたくさんあるん
What
だ。
has she been teaching you? Sorry.
もっとそばで
I think I've been
たく
confused.
さんのことを教えてよ。
I still have so much to learn as a detective. There's so much more I want to talk with you about. Stay with me. Keep teaching
ワ
me.
ト
Oh, please. Pick me. Pick me, Rue. Pick me. Oh,
ずるいな、君は。やっと死ねると思ったのに。
Honestly,
最後の
it'd be
最
really
後に
interesting to see what happens
未
if
練
you
がで
did
きて
get
し
to
ま
go
ったじゃ
back.
ないか。
Kind of a zero-time dilemma situation, but like better. How sly of you. Here I was prepared to die, but at the last minute you make me want to linger on. It's giving green couch vibes. No, it's a fucking green couch. Saika stretches her hand toward my face. It's transparent like glass. The scenery beyond us is visible in her tearful eyes.
だけど
So that is such a specific reference. Also, hi Rockstar, how are you?
君が今目の当
I
た
got
り
to
に
say
し
that
ている
earlier.
こ
I
の光景は
apologize.
この先の未来で起こりうる
I'm
悲
so
劇。
wrapped up in whatever the fuck this is. But this is no time for crying. What you're about to see is a potential tragedy waiting to happen. What? Uh-oh. Oh. I turn only to be confronted by mountains of corpses, more than I've ever seen before. What kind of vision is this? It's far different from any other premonition I've had. This vivid collage of death borders on the fantastical.
こんな死体。
Oh my
何が
god.
起きたって言うんだ。
What's the thing called in Danganronpa? The tragedy, the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Also called the worst, most despair-inducing incident in the history of mankind. These bodies, what happened?
死体以外に情報を読み取れない点から察するに、まだ惨劇の気配しか捉えていないのだろう。だがこのままではいずれ大量の人死にが発生することは間違いない。
As there is nothing to be gleaned from the bodies, this is likely only a glimpse of calamity. But if nothing happens, many will surely die in time. Fuck, is this gonna...
私も八つ崎港事件を捜査するう
It's
ち
gonna
に
be a time loop
この未来を
story
予知し
too,
た。
isn't it? You have to play a
だから
time
こ
loop.
そ対策をせいて本部にみんなを招集までした。
This is the future I saw while investigating the Quartering Duke. It's precisely why I moved with haste to usher everyone to
その判
HQ.
断も八つ咲公は読んでいたのかもしれないがな。
The Quartering Duke must have predicted I would make that call.
でも一番疑わしかった下道探偵は死んだんだよ。
But Renegade's dead. Wasn't he the prime suspect?
先子はもういなくなったはずなのに、どうして？
The Quartering Duke should be defeated, so how?
この未来を見ていることが答えさ。
But you can see this vision is answer
まだ
enough.
君も内心では気づいているだろ
Renegade is gonna absolutely be integral to stopping the Duke.
う。こ
I
う
hate it
簡
here.
単に死ぬわけない。
You feel it too, deep down, don't you? You know the Quartering Duke wouldn't be killed so easily. I can't argue back. I know it to be true. My hunch became certainty the moment I saw the departed Renegade's face. The Quartering Duke lives. The case will continue if he escapes the island. All the tragedies that befell us would be for naught.
この死体の山はこの先で生まれる八つ咲公事件の犠牲者たちなんだね。
These bodies are the Quartering Duke's future victims, aren't they?
ああ、おそらくな。死に様は異なるだろうが。
Okay,
相当数の死体が並ぶこと
are
は
the visions
間違いないだろ
literal
う。
or metaphorical? Because that's also been inconsistent throughout. Yes, I believe so. Each of them may die in different ways, but there's no doubt that a mountain of corpses will be left. Because, like, this implies that he's literally piling up the mountains of corpses. And, like, some of the other ones have implied that, like, everyone dying in the manor... Oh, wait a minute. We're gonna have to play a New Game Plus, and that's gonna be an alternative tragedy there.
君は自分でも目を背けたくなるような悲劇の可能性を眼前に突きつけられたというわけさ。
I mean, the thing is, it all depends on how it plays out from here, I guess. This possible tragedy has been thrust before you, the kind you may rather not even think
これ
about.
こそがエンドシーイングの呪縛だよ。理想探偵として生きる者は
Okay,
決して
two
悲劇
people
か
have
ら目を
possessed
背
this.
け
Let's
るこ
all
とがで
be...
きない。
Let's not go too far here.
悲劇
It's not
を
like a
覆すことが
long-standing
義務付けられる。
ability. Such is the denouement's binding curse. Those who possess it can never avert their eyes from tragedy. They are obligated to reverse
も
it.
しかしたら下道探偵に殺されていた方がまだマシだったと思う日も来るかもしれないな。
There may even come a day when you'll wish you had been killed by Renegade Detective. Saika chuckles as if to intimidate me.
さてワト君、これから君はどうする？
So tell me, Watto, what will you do?
先ほど言った通り、もう私は君を手助けすることはできない。
Like, if this was a possible
今後は
outcome,
一
wouldn't
人
we
で
have seen
悲
it
劇と
earlier
向き合ってい
too?
く必要がある。
Like I told you before, I can no longer help you. You'd have to face the tragedies to come on
こ
your
の島
own.
で体験したような悲劇との開口が日常となる。
I don't care for how
幸
you...
せとは言い難い過
Honestly, if
酷
we're
な
the
毎日。
Quartering Duke, that would...
北条ワトとして生きることすら
I don't think
難しい
anyone...
だろう。
There are other people who have played it who are sometimes watching, but I think you're the only one here right now who has. The kinds you've seen on Morgue would become regular events. Each day would be harsh with precious little joy. Even life as Watahojo would be challenging.
それでも君は理想探偵としての役割を担う覚悟はあるか？
Yet despite all that, are you still prepared to take on the role of ideal detective? Saika's purple eyes pierced through me.
僕は
When I first arrived here, I wouldn't have been able to answer. I knew nothing back then. I had even forgotten my own past. I didn't even realize I was experiencing a reunion 10 years in the making. In fact, for all that time, I'd believed my fake memories. I thought I couldn't save her. Only seen the literal ending. Don't spoil anything then. I'll be so sad if things get spoiled for me, so don't do that. I led a carefree life that forced a cruel fate on Saika. Now that I remember it all, I can't fathom fleeing from it. I refuse to. Because above all else,
サイカちゃんを死なせるわけにはいかない。
there's no way I'm letting you die, Saika.
今なら
I sent
下
myself
道探
friendship.
偵
Oh
の言って
no.
いた意味もよくわかるよ。
Now I see what Renegade Detective meant.
僕は結局サイカちゃんを守りきることができなかった。
In the
こうして二度も死なせてしまいそうになってる。
I
だけ
think
ど
Monokumi might be biased. This is the sniffy whiffy. That
死
would
な
be
せ
the...
ない。
In the end, I failed to protect you, Saika, and now it turns out that I'll have to watch you die again, but I refuse to let you
君
go.
が背負ってきた運命ごと僕は君の命を背負って生きていくって決めたんだ。
I've made up my mind. I'm taking responsibility for your life, including the fate you were made to bear.
本当にいいのか？まだ引き返すことはできるよ。
Are you sure? It isn't too late to turn back.
私の言葉も思い出した過去もエンドシーイングの能力だって全部妄想だと思えばそれでいいんだ。それだけで君はこれまで通り平凡に生きられる。
My words, you remembered past the denouement. You could excuse it all as a delusion and return to life as you knew it, in all its normality.
それでも君は
Oh
探
god.
偵として生きるつもりなのか。
Bullying is getting held twice. It's the she pervs bit. That's the line that's getting held. It's not the specific word, it's the combination of them. She pervs. In the face of all that, are you truly committed to being a detective? I am.
僕は探偵として生きるよ。
I am. I'll dedicate my life to being a
探
detective.
偵をやめた方が楽だろうけど、悲劇から目を背けるのはもう嫌なんだ。
I know it's easier to call it quits, but I'm sick of shielding my eyes from every tragedy.
未熟だし、サイカちゃんには全然追いつけないかもしれないけど、理想探偵の役割を全うしてみせる。
I may still be a rookie, and I may never reach the heights you did, Saika, but I'll use the denouement to play my part as ideal detective.
そうか。やっぱり君は全てを知ってもなお
far away from
道を
knowing
選ぶん
everything.
だな。
Maybe such. I'm not sure. Say downtown. I would like that, but also again, remember downtown is on the side of the quartering Duke. Very well. You know everything now, yet you still choose to walk the
10
coolest
年
path.
前から何も変わらない。いつもいつも一人で全てを抱え込んでばかりの大バカだ。
Nothing's changed.
必ず
Holy
後悔する。
fuck! Why do you take such a long break? Nothing's changed in the past 10 years. You're still an utter fool, shouldering it all alone. Someday you'll surely come to regret
なん
this.
て言っても意味はないか。君の堅くなさは10年前から知っている。
Though I suppose warning you wouldn't do much good. I learned long ago how stubborn you are.
そんな君だからこそ私は憧れたんだからな。
But that's precisely why I admire you so.
サイカちゃん、
Saika. Saika's body grows hazy, like a fine mist. I reach out, but she still escapes my grasp. I finally caught up to her, and yet now I can't even touch her.
ワト君、本音を言うとね、君には何も思い出さずにいてほしかったんだ。
I'll be perfectly frank, Watto. I'd hoped you wouldn't remember
このま
anything.
ま何も思い出さなければ、私の未練は消えず、ずっとワト君のそばにいられる。
Your dark past.
君もまた
Oh,
嫌な過去に目を向ける必要だってなくなると思ったんだ。
If you hadn't, my regrets would have lingered, allowing me to stay by your side forever. That way, you'd never have to face your dark
そんな
past.
こと、君が望むわけもないのにな。
Though, of course, you would never wish for such a thing.
だから10年前のことを教えてくれなかったんだね。
So that's why you didn't tell me what happened 10 years ago.
そうさ、身勝手な女だろ。結局最初から最後まで私の個人的な都合で君を振り回したに過ぎない。
Yeah, they assume that the Duke was there, they know Renegade was there, Incompetent was there, Ideal was there. I don't know how many others might be. Yes, I'm quite the selfish woman, aren't I? Ultimately, I used you for my own purposes, even up to this very
存
moment.
分に恨んでくれ。私は初めから
Workaholic was there, but on the
君が
bad guy
憧れるよう
side.
な探偵ではなかったのさ。
I pray that you resent me. From the very start, I was never once the detective you so revered.
恨めるはずがないよ。君は誰よりも理想探偵の役割を担う大変さを理解している。
As if I could ever hold that against you. You know better than anyone how hard it is to bear the title of ideal detective.
だから僕がかつて理想探偵だったことも、君が肩代わりしてくれたことも隠したかったんだよね。
That's why you wanted to hide my past as the original ideal detective and the fact that you had taken my place, am I right?
君だって10年前から変わらない。いつだって誰かをかばってばかりのお人よしじゃないか。
You haven't changed either. Your kind-hearted nature makes you throw yourself into the line of fire for the sake of others.
ずっと思い出せずにいて本当にごめんね。こんな僕のことを
You're so quiet, bud. Like, the music is doing too much for you and Colin right now. I'm so sorry I couldn't remember until now, but all the same, you never stopped looking out for me even once. So thank you, Saika. She did make you experience your own death as a peeping Tom, though, so... Saika's expression flickers as tears well up in her eyes, then her face crinkles into a broad smile.
金だな、私も。お礼など求めていなかったというのに、いざ君の言葉を聞くとこのざまだよ。
And I was being so calculating too. I never hoped for any gratitude, but I'm a right mess after hearing you say all
理想の
that.
探偵を演じ続けるのは並大抵の道ではない。きっとこの先、これまで以上の悲
I'll
劇
explain
と
why there
低
would be
迷
a
してい
new
く
game
ことに
plus
な
mode,
る
I
だろう。
guess, to begin with. The role of ideal detective is no ordinary path, it's true. You'll encounter far more tragedy than what you've already witnessed.
されど、今の君ならばきっと平気だ。どんな悲劇だって覆せる。最高の探偵になれるよ。
Still, given who you are, you'll be fine. No matter what adversity befalls you, you'll find a way to reverse it, as the greatest of detectives. Saika continues to dissipate, seemingly melting into the world around her.
理想探偵を演じ続けた者として最後のアドバイスだ。エンドシーイングの本質は未来の余地ではなく全てを見ること。
Is it gonna turn out that the denouement is like actually zero time dilemma shit? Because I'll lose my mind. Here's my final word of advice as one once cast as the ideal detective. The denouement does not merely predict the future, rather it sees all.
今の君になら過去に訪れた場所でも異なるものが見えるだ
Yeah,
ろう。
this is definitely.
この一週
She's
間
basically just explaining what New Game Plus is.
その力で真実を見極めてみるといい。
Visit a place you've been before and you'll likely discover something new. Reflect upon the events of this past week and use your power to find the truth.
初歩的なことですね、ホームズさん。
That's elementary, right, Holmes?
君との名探偵ごっこは楽しかったよ。ワトソン君。
It's been fun playing Legendary Detective with you, Watto. Ultimately, I failed to save Saika. By the time I remembered it all, it was far too late. I never got to repay her. That leaves only one thing left for me to do.
さあ、反撃開始といこう。君の手でこの
This
国
is why
に
they've been
起ころう
saying
としている
reverse the
最強
case,
最悪の
reverse
悲
the
劇。
tragedy.
八つ咲港事件を覆すんだ
Why。were you saying that before you knew what you would do with reversing? Yes, time to strike back. It's up to you. Our home is threatened by the most atrocious tragedy yet. You must reverse the case of the quartering Duke.
約束する。必ず八つ咲港事件を解決に導いてみせるよ。
Right, it's a promise. I swear to pave a way and resolve the quartering Duke incidents. I make this vow to one I cannot see, the one who is everything to me. Uh-oh, Spaghetti-O.
無能さん、
You
急
called
に
it
固まってどうしたんですの？
the half-brained chat. No, chat's very smart. They've got a full brain, I promise. Why did you suddenly go catatonic?
ごめんなさい。僕、どれくらいぼーっとしていましたか？
Oh, sorry, how long have I been out of it? I was kind of expecting credits
少
too.
々じゃないかしら。なんですの？もしや寝不足ですの？
A minute perhaps? Whatever's the matter? A lack of sleep or the like?
ええ、そんなものです。
Yeah, something along those lines. Maybe I had one of those waking dreams just now. Then again, whatever it was doesn't really matter. It isn't going to change what I have to do.
家族さん、僕を信じてください。
Posh, I need you to trust me, please.
無能さん？
Incompetent? I don't care that it was a dream, an illusion, or even a hallucination. All I know for certain is that it's too easy or too early to say we've resolved these paradox
僕
killings.
は社畜さんを殺したのは下道探偵だと考えていましたが、結論を出すにはまだ早いことに気づきました。
Take the VLR route, not the zero time dilemma route. A branching path lays before you. I said it was Renegade who killed Workaholic, but I realize now it's too early to draw that conclusion.
はい？何を言っていますの？誰がどう考えても下道探偵が犯人としか考えられないじゃありませんの。
Pardon? What are you suggesting? By any and all accounts, Renegade Detective simply must be the culprit, no?
ええ、多くの証拠がその事実を示しています。
Yeah, there's a lot of evidence that points to
で
that
も一つ
fact.
だけ、どうしても腑に落ちない点があるんです。
But there's one part of it that just doesn't make any sense.
腑に落ちない点？
Something that makes no sense. One
探
thing.
偵が死ぬ間際に笑って死んでいることですよ。
Renegade was smiling when he
下
died.
道探偵にとっては無念の死のはず。
But you'd think his imminent doom would have been something regrettable for
奪った
him.
命を背負うことに執着していたあいつが社畜さんを殺してすぐ死ぬなんて悔しいはずなんです。
He's fixated on taking responsibility for the lives he claims. He should have been in anguish over dying so soon after killing Workaholic.
確かにそうですけど
That is true, but it's because Renegade Detective tried so hard to kill me that I understand his mentality so well. The irony is almost too much. But much like Saika in my dream just now, the smile on his lifeless face showed not a single sign of regret. Something must have happened right before he died to give him that satisfaction.
でも
Yeah, I was gonna
根拠はないんだよね
So if you have to go to bed, Trevor. The VoD will be up bright and early in the morning, I promise. But there's no actual grounds for that, is there?
下手に行動を起こせば敵側の罠にかかるリスクも増えます。それでも捜査を続けるんですか？
One false step and we may just walk into a trap laid by the enemy. And yet you still want us to keep investigating?
何か確信していることが
That's
あ
kind
る
of
よ
what I'm
う
wondering,
ね。
Galaxy. You must be pretty convinced about something.
私たちを説得するだけの材料を提示してくださいよ。
We ask that you show us something
少
concrete,
女は要求する。
demanded the girl.
ごめん。飛躍くんの言う通り、具体的な根拠はないんだ。あえて言うなれば、僕の探偵としての勘かな。
I'm sorry, but Doleful is right. I don't have a solid basis for this. All I can say is that my detective senses are going off.
魔界さんから、すべての物事には理由があることを教わった。
One taught me love, one taught me patience.
ヤマトさんから、一度信じたらブレるなと励まされた。
Oh yeah, so Mystic taught me that there's a reason behind everything. Rowdy encouraged me to never waver once my mind is set.
武装さんのおかげで、
Oh, I guess all the dead do have a
守りの
connection to one
強さ
of
を知
the
ることができ
survivors,
た。
huh? And thanks to armor, I discovered how to find the strength to hold fast. Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to do New Game Plus, and it's gonna be the opposite parts of these pairs are gonna die in each bit of it.
まだ輪郭のない、ぼやけた推理だけど。け
And
ど
we're
探
gonna learn
偵
a
の日
different
に
thing
は
from all of them, and
隠され
then
た
we'll go
謎
back
があ
and
る
we'll
って
solve
感
it.
じるんだ。
Thank you for the hydration check, Puppo. Everything I'm learned on Morgue is how I know, even if it's just a vague inkling for now, that there's a hidden mystery behind Renegade's death.
救助が来るまでの間、もう少しだけ僕に協力してくれないかな。
So until help arrives, will you aid me in this for just a
け
bit
ど探
longer?
偵の死について、いや、
Oh, maybe we're not going
こ
back
の
all the
島
way
で
to
起
the
きた
start.
すべての事件について、もう一度考える時間が欲しいんだ。
I need time to think Renegade's death over. No, to think about everything that's happened here on this island. Everyone falls silent at my petition. Going off a totally unfounded hunch ought to disqualify me as a detective. Back when I first arrived, I'm sure they would have all laughed at me. However,
無能探偵が言うなら協力します。あなたの言葉な
I
ら
still don't really know if he's earned
信
this.
頼でき
But
ますから
sure.
ね。と言って少女は微笑みかけた。
For you, incompetent, I'll lend my cooperation. I have total faith in your words, the girl said, offering a smile.
いい顔になったわね、無能ちゃん。いいわ。お姉さんもあなたに協力してあげる。一緒に八つ咲き子を捕まえましょうね。
I'm liking that look in your eyes, incompetent. So sure, your honorary big sis is here to help. Let's catch that quartering duke together.
実は僕も無能さんと同じ気持ちでした。皆さんの死を無駄にしないためにも、ここはリスクを冒してでも捜査を続けましょう。
As a matter of fact, I agree with you, incompetent. Even if there are risks involved, we need to keep investigating to ensure no one died in vain.
僕は君の選択を信じるよ無能くん僕の力が必要な時はいつでも頼ってね
Whatever you decide, I trust you, incompetent. Just call on me whenever you need, or just call on me when you need my abilities.
まったくリーダーは私だというのに身の程知らずの庶民ですこと。
Need I remind you that I am the chief here? You ragtags and bobtails always forget your place.
まあ良いでしょう。部下の熱意を無理にするなど上司としてあってはなりませんからね。
But very well, it would be inexcusable for a superior to disregard an eager subordinate.
リーダーとして私もあなたに協力して差し上げますわ。この島で散っていった皆さんのためにも必ず真相を解き明かしてみせますわよ。
And so I shall assist you in my capacity as chief. Know that we will uncover the truth for the sake of all who have perished.
ありがとうございます。皆さん。
Everyone, thank you. I'm still so inexperienced. I could never call myself an ideal detective. Incompetent is a much more appropriate word for me. But I'm not alone. I have friends I can trust. We've survived through life and death ordeals together after all. Even as we go up against the most fearsome serial killer of all time, I'm not afraid so long as they're with me. Aww.
僕たちで覆しましょう。この島で起きた全ての悲劇を。
Alright guys, it's time to reverse this every tragedy that's occurred on this island. With that, we make the decision to revisit every case that's happened up until now. But not one moment later, we receive an unexpected transmission.
皆さん、探偵同盟本部から連絡が来ました。
Isn't that where we are? What? Everyone is a message from DA headquarters.
電波は届かないはずじゃ。
Huh? But I thought we had no signal.
おそらく通信システムを搭載した船でこの島の近くまで来てくれたんです。地上に上がってこられてよかったですね。
There must be a ship equipped with a comm system near the island. Thank goodness we made our way up to the
では
surface.
早速届いたメッセージを読み上げますね。
It's gonna be the quartering Duke. I'll open the message up right away. Everyone clusters around Techie looking at the laptop balanced atop his knees. Displayed on the screen is a brief, blunt order.
八つ崎港事件についてはもう捜査の必要はない。救助へ向かうから何もせずに待機せよだって。
There's no further need to investigate the quartering Duke case? Help is on the way, so just sit there, or we're just to just sit here and do nothing? Perhaps we had yet to see how deeply the malice surrounding the quartering Duke killing swirls. Alright, so regrettably, with this prediction, I think that the culprit has to... I think we have to give this one to Renegade. I think Renegade is the one that the prediction goes to. Because I don't know who else it could have been. I mean, I was going based off of who it would say in the culprit box. And it says presumed, so we kind of have to go with it, but I'm assuming there's more to it. Also, in the future, no voting if you've played the game before. It's illegal. We take it, Galaxy. Jesus. No rigging the system. Sorry, we're not doing the V3 ones. Good morning, night, evening, and day, citizens. 'Tis I, your grace, the quartering Duke. Still without any past felonies on my record. Thank you for the jacket and I've been live casting this quartering corner for days now, but sadly the next installment will be our last. Soon I'll be back to normal Dukehood. For our momentous final episode, I'll discuss the talk of the town. Those obsessive stalkers of mine, the Detective Alliance. They're seen as heroes online, with folks touting them as the defenders of justice. But who are they really? You're dying to know, eh, loyal viewers? To put it simply, they're what shits out. Their criminal organization was formerly another, one sanctioned to investigate the Dayless Night. It may seem hypocritical, but their evil sickens me. Spoilers. Oh, maybe he has.
すごい探偵を人工的に生み出していたってわけ。
10 years ago, they kidnapped children for human experiments to artificially create exceptional detectives, such as the famed Ideal Detective.
各いう我が輩も探偵同盟の前身である機密警察とやらに人体実験
Before
を
we
受
go
け
into
て
Danganronpa 1,
人な
right?
らざる力を得る羽目になった境遇でね。いずれ復讐してやろうと10年以上も気を伺っていたのさ。
I'll be honest, I haven't really eaten today, not because I didn't try, but because I accidentally took my medication way too early before I had my food ready to go, and it kills my appetite, so I haven't really eaten much. I'm gonna absolutely go to fucking town on a grilled cheese sandwich after this or something. I, too, was subjected to the horrors of the secret police, the DA's precursor, and gained superhuman powers. Then I waited a decade to exact revenge.
そして時は
Just
来
take
た
your meds.
我が輩は奴らを徹底的に潰すために入念な計画を立て
So I guess this broadcast has been going out to the outside world instead of... That makes sense, I guess. I kind of thought it was just like... Sort of like the Monokuma broadcast, where they're just sort of like a thing. But interesting. When the opportunity finally came, Your Grace made meticulous plans to annihilate them all. Plans which I'm carrying out as we speak.
今頃探偵同盟の本部はアビー教官の
Okay, so maybe he isn't
地獄
observing
だろう
it.
ね
This is just my big concern too, is that
想
could
像
be
を
it.
巡らせるだけで花瓶を叩き割ったみたいに
It turned out to be like senior detective, and we just couldn't identify the body properly. Extreme. I'm sure their HQ is the very picture of chaos right about now. Ah, the thought of it strikes my heart like breaking a vase. Mystic, is that you?
信じられないまあそうだよねわかるよ論より証拠だ
Now we're scrambling around
次
HQ?
第の我が輩は探偵同盟の罪を糾弾する証拠集めのために奴らの本部を奔走中だろう
Okay. What, don't buy it? Yeah, fine, I get it. Seeing is believing. Thankfully, Your Grace resides in reality, so now I'm scrambling around their
次の
HQ.
配信で君たちにとびっきりビビッドでエモーショナルでエクセレントな証拠をお見せすることを約束するよ
In our next installment, I promise to present you with the emotionally riveting and exceptionally damning evidence I found
正
there.
義のヒーローが史上最強のヴィランに
We're not getting the
転
new
ず
game
る
plus
瞬間
though.
だ最高なエンターテインメントだろう
The announcement delayed. Oh, that's possible. Maybe. I'm not sure. Like, maybe we're not getting them at the time that they actually happened. Maybe they all happened before. Yeah, this is the moment where the heroes of justice become the foulest villains this world has ever known. Best entertainment ever, am I right?
これを見ている探偵同盟の諸君我が輩を止められるものなら止めてみせてごらんまあもっとも君たちには分かっていても止められないだ
And
ろう
there's like 6 of them left. They're really, like... To all the ladies and gentlemen of the Alliance tuning in, if you hope to stop Your Grace, then I invite you to do so. Not that you'll be able to. We finally received word from headquarters. They urged all the detectives still remaining on the island not to investigate any further. Attached to the message is a video of the Quartering Duke's latest irreverent broadcast. Okay, so that's why.
なんなんだこの映像八崎公は
He
今
does
こ
say he's scampering
の
around.
島の中にいるってこと
Why include this video? Could this mean the Duke's on the island with us right now?
おそらくそうでしょう。だからこそ僕らに捜査をやめるよう指示を出したと考えれば自然です。
It seems pretty likely. That's the most obvious reason they'd request us to stop
それ以外
investigating.
にも本部側で何か情報を掴んでいる可能性も考えられますが。
Either that or HQ has gotten their hands on some important intel.
掴んだって何を僕らの捜査をわざわざ止めるほどの情報なの
What kind of intel exactly? What would make them go out of their way to stop us from investigating like
きっと
this?
探偵同盟の始祖にして序列のトップ始祖探偵美読からの連
Plus,
絡
you're not
です
even
よ
in
ね
the screenshot. How would you possibly know? I believe this message came directly from founding detective Vidok, the Alliance's institutor and the highest ranking
相
detective.
変わらず人間味のかけらもないメッセージですこと残された探偵たちを心配する言葉が何もないなんてありえませんわ
It's utterly devoid of humanity as per usual. To think he didn't even include a single word of concern for those of us remaining.
さてこれからどうしましょうか
So, what shall we do now?
例のライブ映像を見る限り、私たちの中に八つ咲コウがいる可能性も考えられます。下手に動かない方が良いかもしれませんよ。と少女は苦々しげに言った。
Judging by the live cast, it's possible that the Duke is among us. It may be in our best interest not to be hasty, the girl said sourly.
そうだね。本部から通達が来るほどなんだ。きっと何かしらの事情があるんだと思う。
Okay, incompetent, you've literally never talked to HQ before, though, so you don't really know. Amogus. Yeah, it's serious enough for HQ to contact us. They must have a good reason.
おとなしく待ってなんていられないよ。僕らは僕らで予定通り捜査を続けよう。
Even so, we can't sit idly by. Let's keep up the search like we planned. I don't know why I like her laugh so much. It's so silly.
良いことを言いますわ。
True to form, my number one subordinate. A most excellent
どん
remark.
な指示に従う義理などございません。さあ、私たちは独自の調査を進めましょう。
We have no obligation to obey their orders. Come now, let us resume our
い
investigation.
いんでしょうか。と少女は生真面目な性分をにじませながら問いかけた。
Will that really be okay? The girl asked in full earnest.
良いに決まっておりますわ。美読は探偵としては優れているかもしれませんが、人としての心がありません。
Why, of course, naturally. Vidok might be, or maybe a remarkable detective, but as a person, he's outright heartless.
これほど仲間を失ってきた私たちにじっとしていろですって？そんなこと無理に決まっているでしょうに。
We've lost so many allies, and yet we're expected to stand by and twiddle our thumbs. Poppycock, I say.
僕も
Why
家
do
族
you
さん
say
と同じ
that?
気持ちです。
I'm with Posh on
思え
this.
ばこの島での出来事は不可解な点が多すぎます。
As it stands, our experiences on this island hold far too many unresolved questions. For
ど
example,
うしてわざわざ島に探偵たちを呼び寄せたのか。職員たちはなぜ
I guess we never really did bother to figure out what happened to Senior.
結
Whoops.
局最初の事件で老子探偵を殺した犯人は誰だったのか。
Why bother summoning us detectives here to begin with? Why didn't the staff at Snarks resist the attack? And who actually killed Senior Detective?
いくら組織がダメだと言おうとも前に進みましょう。それが死んでいった皆さんのためでもあると思います。
The Alliance can tell us no as many times as they want. We have to keep moving forward, for the sake of all those we've lost.
はいはい。みんな、ちょっとクールダウンしましょうね。
Okay, let's cool our heads a bit. Gourmet approaches the group carrying a tray with enough soup for everyone.
気合たっぷりなのはいいけど、このままだと空回りしちゃうわよ。事件の捜査もやっと一段落ついたんだし、まずはご飯を食べて英気を養いましょう。
Enthusiasm is good, but not when we're running on empty. With a new phase of our investigation underway, why don't we refuel first?
そうですね。ありがとうございます、美食さん。
Good point. Thanks, Gourmet.
これ竜宮院印の和風松茸スープじゃありませんの。私大好物なのですわ。
Are you? Is this Ryugun or I can't? Ryugun brand? I simply adore their matsutake soup.
パンも見つけたから焼いてくるわね。
Where are
先
you?
にスープを飲んで体を温めておくといいわ。
Well, I guess we're on the upper floor now, aren't we? So yeah, there's probably more stuff around. I found some bread too. Let me go toast it. In the meantime, feel free to have a bowl and warm yourselves up. Gourmet! I don't know if you should be walking off on your own, Gourmet. That sounds like bad news, Gourmet. Graciously accept the meal, helping ourselves to the soup as we... as we lounge on the lobby sofas. The mushroom's flavor is pungent, blending in nicely with the bonito flakes and kombu broth. A pleasant feeling envelops my tired body. Gourmet. Did you drug us? My mind starts wandering. Either that, or it must really be spent the way my eyes start to droop. But then I notice the others slumped against the sofas, already sound asleep.
あれ、この感じ、まさか。
Wait, what? Don't tell me. An alarm bell goes off in my head. But nonetheless, my consciousness remains unroused as my eyelids grow heavier still. Through my hazy field of vision, I spot Gourmet in the distance. I can only vaguely make out her expression, but even so, I feel an intensity about her that I've never seen before.
まさかスープに睡眠薬を。
You drugged the soup?
ごめんなさいね無能ちゃんこれも世界のためなの
Sorry, incompetent. This, too, is for the greater good. Those are the last words I hear before my consciousness fades to nothing. I awake with my head in agony. Seems I keeled over and passed out on the sofa. My arm is still numb and asleep. Who else died? With a start, I immediately recall what had happened just prior.
そうだ美食さんはどうしてスープに睡眠薬なんて。
Oh, right, Gourmet, why'd you put us to sleep with that soup?
説明してあげるわ
Why is she still here? What? Give me a chance to explain. Gourmet is seated on the sofa opposite me, wearing her usual gentle smile. The other detectives gradually come to, probably thanks to all my yelling.
それは私のツナマヨですわよ。あれ、私のサンドイッチはどちらに？
But that's my tuna salad. Huh? Where's my sandwich?
起床して1秒でうるさいとか本当に勘弁してくださいと少女は寝ぼけ眼をこすりつつ言った
The pain from the moment she awakens. Give me a break. The girl grumbled as she rubbed her groggy eyes.
僕はどうして居眠りを。それに胸になんだか違和感が。
What? Did I fall asleep? Why does my chest feel all funny?
これって機動探偵がつけてた首輪なんじゃ
Did she put collars on us? Isn't this one of those collars that Renegade was wearing?
正解よ飛脚ちゃん察しが良くてお姉さん嬉しいわ
Spot on, Dolful. Such a smart guess. You make your big sister so proud. Following suit, I inspect my own chest and find a device similar to Renegade's clamped onto me. Unlike the one Renegade had used on Posh, this particular device seems much harder to remove.
下道ちゃんがたくさん持っていた予備を少しもらってねみんなが眠っている間に首輪をつけさせてもらったの
I helped myself to Renegade's spoils and attached those collars to you while you were dozing
無能
away.
ちゃんのデバイスを拝借してコマンドも発信したからあと2人分のコマンドで爆発する状態よ
Then I borrowed Incompetent's D-pad and sent a command, so they'll detonate after 2 more entries.
どうしてこんなことを。もしかしてあなたが八つ咲き校だったんですか。
Why are you doing this? Don't tell me you're the quartering Duke.
それに何のつもりか知りませんけど、いくら首輪を取り付けたって残り2人分のコマンドは発信できないのですし、無意味じゃありませんこと。
I don't know what you're thinking, but even if you've collared us, it's pointless when you have no means of issuing the remaining
権
commands.
限を有する監視者とやらはもう無能さんただ一人。理想探偵のデバイスは彼女の遺体とともに回収できていませんし、社畜さんのデバイスも感電の際に故障しておりましたわよね。
Incompetent is the only authorized observer at present. We never recovered Ideal or her D-pad, and the electrocution short at
コ
workaholics.
マンドが発信できなくてはただのお飾り。何の脅しにもなりませんわ。
Without the requisite commands, these collars are mere accessories, an empty threat.
それが意味はあるのよだって本当は下道ちゃんへのコマンドを送った監視者は理想ちゃんではなくて私だもの
Actually, you're wrong. It wasn't Ideal who issued a command to Renegade, it was me. What? I blurted out in spite of myself. It's true, we just assumed Holmes was an observer, but we never found any evidence proving that. To think Gourmet had been one all along. At that moment, the device on my chest beeps as if to mock my revelation.
初めて聞いたでしょ今のが首輪がコマンドを受信した音よこれで私がコマンドの発信権限を持つ監視者だってことがよくわかったわよね
Hear that? That was your caller receiving a new command. As you can see, I am indeed an observer authorized to issue them as I please.
あと一人分のコマンドでみんなドッカーン私の心臓が止まって
I don't
コマン
like
ドが
this.
発
I would
信
have
され
liked the
れば
New Game Plus
全
thing.
員
My
お
idea
しま
was
い
a
ね
better one. Just one more command and you'll all go boom. If my heart stops and pulls that final trigger, it's curtains for everyone.
どうして美食さんが
Why would you do something so...
あなたが監視者だということは社畜さんと同じく探偵同盟の幹部クラスということですよね。もしかしてこれは探偵同盟本部からの指示なのですか？
Being an observer means you hold an executive position in the Alliance like Workaholic did. Are you here on orders from HQ by chance?
探偵同盟本部がそんなバカなこと。
From Alliance headquarters? Don't be...
科学ちゃんは察しがいいわね。その通りよ。
Excellent guess, Techie. That's exactly right.
そう。私は理想ちゃんや社畜ちゃんと同じく探偵同盟の運営に関わる立場、いわば今回の八つ崎港事件対策会議の取りまとめ役なの。
Yep, same as I deal in Workaholic. I'm involved with the DA's management. I'm more or less the coordinator of our anti-Duke conference here.
役割は簡単。みんなの中に溶け込んで怪しい人物がいたら正体を探り、
I mean, yeah, they're all
必要
powerful
となれば
detectives.
拘束
Like,
する。
Posh is higher
まあ
ranked than her, I'm pretty
社
sure.
畜ちゃんのように殺せとまでは言われてなかったけれどね。
Posh is ranked 5. Gourmet's ranked 9. My role was simple. I was to blend into the group, weed out anyone suspicious, and restrain them if needed. No killing involved, unlike Workaholic.
取りまとめ役。どうしてそんなことを。僕らの中に安崎子がいると疑っていたんですか？
But why were you a coordinator? Did you already suspect the quartering Duke was one of us?
ええ、その通りよ。私たち一部を除いた探偵はみんな特別な能力を有していて、かつ機密警察が実験を行っていた時代に10歳未満だった子たち。
Yes, exactly. Barring a few exceptions, each member here possesses special abilities and would have been below age 10 at the time of the
過去の
experiments.
捜査データから考えると、この島へ訪れた探偵たちの中に八つ崎公がいることはまず間違いないそうよ。
According to our past data, there was no doubt the Duke was among the group of detectives who were brought to this island.
なぜ探偵同盟内に八つ崎公がいるとわかるんですかと少女は問いかけた。
How can you be so confident that the quartering Duke is part of the Alliance? The girl asked.
いい質問ね。それは八つ崎公事件の被害者が出た地域は漏れなく、過去に探偵同盟のメンバーが派遣された地域だったからよ。
Good question. It's because, without fail, every location where the Duke's victims were found had been previously investigated by the DA. What?
まあ、該当の地域に派遣されたメンバーには共通項もなくて、八つ崎公
I
本
mean,
人
yeah,
に
this is
つな
definitely
がる
better.
鍵は
I
未
did
だ
think they
に
were
ゼ
gonna
ロ
make
な
her
ん
the
だ
Duke,
け
and
ど
I was
ね。
gonna be real annoyed with that. This at least makes more sense that she was like expected to play a low-key role and kind of weasel her way in. Still, there were no commonalities between the members dispatched to those areas, leaving us with nothing that linked to the Duke directly.
どうしてそんな大切なことを今まで黙っていたんですか？
Why would you keep such an important fact to yourself the whole time?
混乱を生まないためよ。決め手にならない曖昧な情報は余計な混
I
乱
mean,
しか
she
生ま
could
ない
also
で
still
し
be the
ょ。
Duke after all this, which would be weird. To avoid causing a commotion, vague and conclusive intel can only lead to unnecessary chaos,
自
right?
分たちの中に裏切り者どころか八つ崎公本人がいるかもしれないと分かれば混乱は必至だからね。
If you learned without a doubt that the Duke was among us, all hell would break
最
loose.
初に思わぬ事件に遭遇してこのメンバーの中に八つ崎公がいるとバレかけた際は肝を冷やしたわ。理想ちゃんがうまくフォローしてくれたおかげで助かったけれどね。
During that first case with Senior, I was afraid the Duke's presence in our group would be brought to light, but Ideal's follow-up came to the rescue. That's true enough. We'd already been jumping at our own shadows. Had we started pointing fingers, our teamwork would have crumbled. Which is exactly why Psyche suggested that the Duke could have still been lurking in the manor.
事情は分かりました。それで結局この首輪は何なんですか？
I'm grasping the situation now, but what's the deal with the collars?
まさか本部の命令通り救助が来るまでじっとしてろって命じるつもりですか？
Are you really going to obey HQ's orders and force us to wait here until backup arrives?
安心して無能ちゃん。その逆よ。
Don't worry, incompetent. It's actually just the opposite.
逆？
Come again?
本部の命令なんて無視するわ。救助が来るまで残り1日。私たちで八つ崎港を見つけ出すの。
We're ignoring HQ's orders. We have 1 day until backup arrives, so let's read out that quartering Duke. Okay, but if you're the quartering Duke, like let's assume she's correct. The quartering Duke is one of the people she's currently got a bomb collar strapped to. 2 commands have already been sent. Any other one is going to kill everyone there. If you are the quartering Duke, you're kind of in a no-win situation, right? Other than just like praying they don't solve the case. But even then, like if let's say that they like if it was Posh or if it was Posh, Techie, it's probably not Gourmet, Doleful, or Bookworm. Can't be Posh. Posh would have been too old. Techie, I think it could have been. I don't know if we know his age yet, though. Yeah, it doesn't say, but I mean, probably Posh is too old. Techie, Doleful, and Bookworm would probably all be the right, or young enough, but Bookworm might be too young. So realistically, at that point, it'd have to be Techie or Doleful. Right? And Techie doesn't have a supernatural ability. Techie was just born with cerebral palsy and has good tech skills. So wouldn't that mean it has to be Doleful? If I'm right, don't say it, obviously. I feel like that's where I'm leaving right now. If it's one of these people, it has to be Doleful, I think. Or else it could be incompetent, I guess, through some convoluted bullshit. Again, no spoilers. We're not spoiling anything. I do think that Doleful, based on the information that we currently have, Doleful would have to be the one with the conditions. Or that would meet the conditions that we've currently established as being the necessary ones for them. And it would kind of make sense. Because Doleful basically has a not dissimilar ability in a lot of ways to... Anyways, we're ignoring HG's orders. We have 1 day
も
until
し見
backup.
つけられなかったら全員道連れ。たとえ死んでも八つ崎港をこの島から出したりしないわ。
But if we fail, I'm taking all of you down with me. I'm not letting the quartering Duke off this island, even if it costs me my life.
道連れって
What do you mean by that?
自身の命を絶ってでも首輪を爆発させるつもりなので
She's
しょ
saying she'll kill herself so that it kills us all.
少女は美食探偵を睨みつけながら言った。
She intends to detonate these collars if it's the last thing she ever does, the girl said, glaring daggers at
見
Gourmet
損
Detective.
ないましたよ。なぜこのような短絡的行動に出たんですか？
I misjudged you before. What reason is there to resort to such drastic measures?
私たちはどうせ逃げも隠れもしません。脅しなどせず、普通に事情を話せばよいではありませんか。
Okie dokie. Good to know.
と少女は怒りをあらわにする。
It isn't as if we would run or hide. Why not explain the situation rather than threaten us outright? The girl questioned
ごめん
angrily.
ね、文学ちゃん。だけど、それだけでは足りないと思うの。
Sorry, Bookworm. I didn't feel that alone would cut it.
あなたが教えてくれたのよ、無能ちゃん。
You taught me something before, incompetent.
僕が教えた何のことですか？
Me? Excuse me. What is it? What was
一
it?
度決めたら迷わない覚悟。
Oh.
私はヤマトちゃんを失ったあの時から何をしてでも八つ崎港を殺すって決めていたの。
To never waver with my convictions. Ever since losing Rowdy, I've vowed to kill the Duke, no matter the cost. Gourmet cracks a smile even colder than ice. The lights left her eyes. As her mouth curls upward, she seems almost crazed.
実はね、地下の研究棟を訪れた後の最初の夜に社畜ちゃんから探偵デバイスで連絡が入ったの。首輪にコマンドを発信してくれってね。
Truth is, Workaholic contacted me via D-pad on our first night in the underground research facility. He asked me to send a command to Renegade's caller.
私はすぐさまお願いを聞いたわ。下道ちゃんが八つ咲校である可能性は十分に考えられるし、何よりヤマトちゃんを死に追いやった張本人だからね。
So to be clear, that was the first night in the underground research facility. So the first night when we were like in the prison cells, not at the very beginning. I complied at once. There was a decent chance Renegade was the Duke. Plus, he ultimately was responsible for Rowdy's death.
ああ、ちなみに亡くなった社畜ちゃんがボロボロだったのは、私が少し痛めつけたせいでもあるの。やっぱり実行犯も懲らしめておかないとね。
Oh. No, it wasn't ideal. It was 2 from Workaholic and Gourmet is what she's saying. But... Oh, and the reason Workaholic was in such a sorry state when he died is because I had to punish the one who actually committed the deed, of course. She admits these horrific facts like it's nothing. She always seems so serene. I'm shocked by the brutality lurking beneath the facade.
ヤマトさんはこんなことを望みませんよ。どうしてここまで極端な行動に出るんですか？
Why are you going to such extremes? Rowdy, she wouldn't have wanted this.
ええ、わかってるわ。これは私の自
Yeah,
己
the
満
fact remains
足
that there's still some fuckery with that. And Gourmet Detective would have been an accomplice, that's true. But, you know, I think the final straw is what counts there. Yes, I know, but this is for my own
八つ
satisfaction.
咲校候補に挙げられていなかった彼女のお願いを断りきれず、この島へ招いてしまった私自身の罪を
Oh, Rowdy.
少しでも償い
Right,
たい。
Teki was also not supposed to be here. Right, that would also cut him out of the possibilities, because remember it was supposed to be his master. Unless it's his master who's the killer. But I don't think so. It'd be kind of weird for him to have a master who's also like 17. And maybe it could be, I guess. But also, I feel like at this point, they're kind of too late into the story to be like, by the way, there's also a new person and that's our mastermind. But yeah, that feels like that just really lines it up for Doleful, huh? Because again, like, we've... Oh, fuck, I keep pressing that instead of... You've got Incompetent, who it could be, I guess, through some bullshit. Ideal's dead. Renegade's dead, and doesn't seem like he was. He just seemed like he was, like, the most likely culprit, but he seems to still be alive. Also, if there's a live broadcast going on from the outside, I don't really know who would be doing it. It must be a pre-recorded video that's being broadcast live, I guess, would be the case. So it could be anyone in that condition. Posh Detective can't be. She's too old. She wouldn't be one of the experiment subjects. Mystic is dead. Gourmet was also, I think, too old. I guess it doesn't really say her age there, but anyways, Workaholic is dead, was also an executive. Doleful would be the correct age. 17. What else do they say? Oh. Oh. Orphaned by a major earthquake 13 years ago, he was passed from relative to relative, trying his best to live without troubling others. His attitude changed, however, after he and Workaholic Detective solved the case of Building Number 6, a series of locked room murders at the place he just happened to be staying. Now he strives to save others while grappling with his peculiar ability. Oh yeah, where's Pasha's? Because we do have more from her now. Despite her classy alias, the Pinkerton Agency is currently in a period of decline, having closed their detective branch in her home country to focus primarily on security guard services. Dissatisfied with the state of things, she and her trusted subordinates moved abroad to establish Pinkerton Japan Incorporated and restore her family name. She now acts as both the face and the head of the company, working tirelessly to restore it. Or expand it, sorry. I'll say we're just kind of waiting for the ad. Subsequently released. We don't have any other ones of these, right? Because we haven't gotten anyone else's. There's some from Workaholic, but not completed. I brought her to morgue, so now she wasn't a candidate for being the Duke. When she asked to come, I couldn't say no. I brought her to morgue, so now I've got to repent however I
だけど
can.
何より明けぬ夜事件の再来を防ぐことが 最大の目的よ。
More than anything, though, I want to prevent another dayless night incident from occurring.
明けぬ夜事件の再来を防ぐこと。
Yeah, Gourmet did what Workaholic asked her to do because she thought that he might, or that Renegade might be the Duke. And I do think that Workaholic was committed to the idea that he must be the Duke, right? Like, I don't think that Workaholic was, like, just trying to play out a vendetta. Because, like, he was pretty insistent. And I think he was hoping that he wouldn't have to die. Although I guess Gourmet could have also died. But also, she, like, stabbed him repeatedly. Oh, yeah, I guess she did have the knife the whole time. So, yeah, she just stabbed him in the chest a bunch after he was dead. For another dayless night incident?
そういえば下道探偵が美食さんは明けぬ夜事件の被害者だって言っていましたね。それと
Wait, you were a victim of
何
the
か関係
What?
があるんですか？
Is she back on the table? Gourmet was willing to work with Workaholic, I think because her ultimate goal was still the quartering Duke. And then she was like, you know what? I've got the chance. I'm just going to fuck you up a little bit afterwards. Renee did mention you were a victim of it yourself, but how's that
知っ
related?
ていたのね。ええ、その通りよ。あの悲劇は今でも忘れないわ。
So you knew. Yeah, that's right. I still haven't been able to forget how tragic it all
私
was.
は明けぬ夜事件が起きた日、
Oh, no, Dayless Night is a different thing. I'm
奴ら
forgetting.
の引き起こした爆発テロの影響で、約半月もの間、
Oh,
瓦礫
Jesus.
の中に閉じ込められたの。
Due to the terrorist attack that day, I wound up pinned down under rubble for around half a month.
土でもゴムでも鉄でも、何でも食べたおかげで生き残ることができたわ。
Oh, okay. Well,
でも、私と一緒に閉じ込められた人たちは、みんな
please tell me
亡
you
くな
didn't
っ
eat
たし、
them.
私も後遺症で、空腹感が一生消えない体になったの。
I survived by eating dirt, rubber, iron, anything. Everyone else trapped with me had died, and even now my stomach still pangs with
も
constant
う
hunger.
あんな不幸を。美味しいものも食べられない子たちを増やしちゃいけない。
She said that
悲劇
she...
を繰り返しちゃいけない。
Also, she probably... I mean, like, Renegade and Workaholic were both kind of equally involved in that murder. Or Renegade deliberately threw Rowdy under the bus with it. Tried to throw Doleful under the bus and failed, which I find interesting. Anyway, never again. I won't accept another disaster like that, robbing people of their freedom to eat with relish. We can't allow tragedy to repeat itself. Also, again, she did say eat
だ
anything.
から、八崎港はこの島から絶対に出しちゃいけないの。たとえ本部がどう言おうとも、私は八崎港を見つけ出すわ。あなたたちが何と言おうとも、協力してもらうわよ。
So under no circumstances am I letting the Duke off this island. Who cares what HQ has to say? I'm finding him and you're all going to help. Gourmet dons a deadly serious expression. Yet in spite of that, Posh approaches her meekly. As I wonder what she means to do. Did you slap her?
ビンタ
Posh forcefully smacks Gourmet across the face.
今さら当たり前のことを言うんじゃありませんわよ。
There's no time to be stating the obvious. Posh?
あなたに命令されずともね、私たちは全員命をかけて八崎港を見つけ出す覚悟でおりましたわ。
We were already determined to risk our lives in pursuit of the Duke without your orders.
それはわざわざこんな優雅でないアクセサリーまでつけて余計なお世話でしたよ。
Even going so far as to accessorize us so crudely. You busybody, you. That's Posh for you. We'd all been cowed by Gourmet's intimidating aura, but now we can't help ourselves from laughing.
家族さんの言う通りです。僕も初めから本部の命令など聞く気はないと言っていたじゃありませんか。
Well, yeah, but one of you is clearly the killer. Like, I don't think you guys are really getting on board with the reason. Like, they're all like, we would have helped you anyways. And she's like, yeah, but one of you is the quartering Duke. So clearly one of you wouldn't, and I don't know which fucking one of you. And also, I guess it's possible that, like, well, no, it wouldn't really make sense for incompetent to, like, the memory alteration would have to be too much, but anyways. Posh is absolutely right. I said so too, didn't I? From the moment we received HQ's orders, I had no intention
美
of
食さん
following
の
them.
覚悟は伝わりました。時間までに何としてでも 八つ咲き子を見つけ出しましょう。
You made your resolve crystal clear, Gourmet. Let's corner the Duke before our time runs out, by any means necessary.
美食さんの気持ちはわかるけど、まだ僕たちの中に八つ咲き子がいるとは限らない
Dolful
し、
really wants the collar off.
この首輪は危険だと思うな。
I get where you're coming from, Gourmet, but these collars are dangerous. We don't even know for sure that the Duke is here.
僕たち以外まだこの島に誰かいるってこと？
You think it's someone else? Could another person still be on this island?
その可能性もあるし、もしかしたら死んだと思っていた人が生きている可能性だって考
I mean, I
え
guess
られるよね。
And we don't know about armor. We didn't see armor die. And if the quartering Duke is truly the invincible detective,
I have a feeling that I'm in danger.
yeah. And if armor is the quartering Duke and is the invincible detective, his armor would have protected him from a lot. And whatever his armor didn't protect him from, maybe the armor is an excuse. Maybe the armor is part of him, who knows? What does it say about armor? Maybe he's too old though, who knows? Never seen without his nightly suit of armor. Unusual detective cracks cases with all of this. His face was scarred in a past case, so he refuses to remove his helmet if he can afford it. We didn't see downtown. Okay, so like the people we know who died 1000%. Senior detective, unless that wasn't really his body down there, but I feel like they confirmed it pretty clearly. Ideal is dead. Renegade is pretty dead, I think it's fair to say. Mystic, we saw the corpse. Workaholic, we've seen the corpse. Downtown, we didn't see the corpse. We left her bleeding out of her eyes. So she might have somehow managed to survive, but like unlikely. Armor, we didn't see the corpse at all though. If it's somebody who we thought died, then it would be armor. But otherwise, I think Dolful. And also, Dolful is the one who's throwing this out there, like deflect suspicion, I think. It's possible not to mention someone we thought had died could still be
相手は
alive,
あの八つ咲き子だもの。何が起こっても不思議じゃないって考えるべきじゃないかな。
This is the quartering Duke we're talking about. We shouldn't be surprised by any unexpected twists.
飛逆探偵の言う通り、あなたのこの行動はリスクが高すぎますよと少女は呆れて探索してみせた。
As Doleful Detective stated, your actions have been far too risky, the girl said with a sigh of
です
exasperation.
がなんだかうさんくさかったあなたが本音を見せてくれたのは喜ばしいことです。
I mean, again, it could be
最
bookworm,
後
but
まで
like,
諦めずに
combined with
捜査
Mystic,
し続け
it
ま
just
しょう。
feels like that would kind of, I don't really know how they would tie that in, or tie that in, whatever.
少女は手を差し出す。
But I'm glad you revealed your true nature. Something about you seemed off. Let's continue our search until the end, Gourmet Detective.
みんな
You guys.
ど
Aw.
うなることかと思いましたけど、みんな気持ちは一つのようですね。
I expected as much, but it seems we're all in
美
agreement.
食さん、僕も協力します。あなたも他のみんなも死なせたりしません。
Uh-oh, incompetent. You've been really bad at keeping that promise. I'll help too, or Gourmet. I won't let you or anyone
だ
else
から
die.
教えてくれませんか？八つ咲子に関するまだ僕らの知らない情報を。
Yeah, something bad's gonna happen. In light of that, though, will you share whatever you can tell us about the Duke?
そうね。みんなを騙し続けてきてごめんなさい。
You got it. Sorry for tricking you all.
先ほども言った通り、八つ咲公はこの対策会議に招集された中にいることはまず間違いないわ。これは過去の機密警察の実験記録から割り出された確かな情報よ。
As I said, there's no doubt the Duke was among the detectives called to this meeting. Records from the secret police's experiments confirm this
性
much.
別は不明。顔は写真が残っていないし、整形の可能性も高いから手がかりはゼロ。事実、教育係を務めた社畜ちゃんでも下道ちゃん以外は分からなかったから、おそらく間違いないのでしょうね。
Title aside, their gender is unknown. No photos of them remain, and they likely had cosmetic surgery since, or seeing as even Workaholic only recognized Renegade. I mean, they were also children. but like,
わからないことばかりじゃありませんの。
no, they would have been 10, which means that they're 17. Or no, I guess they would have been like 6 to. Yeah, that would have made sense. So essentially, you know absolutely nothing.
まあまあ、だからこそこの対策会議が開かれたんでしょ。
Easy now. That was probably the reason this meeting was called to order in the first
無
place.
能ちゃんの言う通り、ろくな情報がないからこそ私も焦っているの。
Exactly incompetent. We have very few leads to go off, so suffice it to say I'm also on edge.
本部が捜査を中止した理由はわからないけれど、このまま何も捜査しないなんて認められないわ。こうしてみんなを脅してでも本気で調査しなくちゃいけないと思ったの。
I don't know why HQ ordered we stop, but I refuse to sit idly by. Even if it meant threatening you all, I had to keep this investigation going.
手がかりなら見つけられるかもしれませんよと言って少女は外を指さした。
If we're looking for clues, maybe we can start there, said the girl pointing outside.
外？
What, outside? I follow her pointer finger and finally come to a vital realization.
テレポートにいたはずの黒い SPX がいない？
That black SPX near the heliport is gone.
ええ、今なら外を調べることもできるのではありませんか。
I mean, like, it's very possible it's just like not there. But we should be able to look around outside now, correct?
その通りだよ。ありがとう。さすがは文学さん。
Yeah, good looking out, bookworm. We can always count on you.
ふふんと少女は誇らしげに胸を張った。
The girl chuckled, puffing out her chest with pride.
今なら外も明るいし、不意打ちを食らうこともなさそうだね。
It's still light out, so we shouldn't be caught off guard.
僕も脅威の気配は感じないよ。今なら平気だと思う。
Also, Doleful does have bandages on the face. Maybe covering up a handful of cosmetic procedures, a nose job. Besides, yeah, any threats at the moment either. We should be safe if we head out now.
あれだ
Also,
けの巨体ですからすぐに気づけるでしょうけど、周囲にはよくよく注意を払いましょうね。
something that's bothered me kind of since the beginning of this is that I don't, in the moment with the, or in the room with the spike trap, like the dining room, meeting room area, whatever, Doleful didn't realize he was going to die. We had to protect him. I wonder if maybe Doleful has only been aware of danger from the traps that he himself has set. You know? Like he was aware of the wires that were strung up all throughout that area. But of course he would be if he set them up and just had like a really good memory, right? With how massive that SPX is, we should notice it first. But nevertheless, let's keep a close watch on our surroundings, shall we?
まずはどこへ行きますか？
We headed first.
はあ？聞くまでもないでしょう。
Is it not obvious? Passes out a sigh before continuing.
まずは理想探偵の遺体を回収することが最優先ですわ。
She's been left exposed to the elements
レ
for
デ
a
ィであ
week.
る彼女
Does
は
she? I
い
don't
つ
know.
までも野ざらしは
The
かわい
body's
そう
not
で
gonna
す
be
から
in
ね。
condition. Her first priority is recovering Ideal's body. She's a lady after all. Leaving her exposed to the elements is unthinkable.
ほうけた顔をしてどうしましたの？
Why, pray tell, is your jaw agape?
いや、なんというか、いつになく優しいから驚いて。
No, it's just that you're not usually so thoughtful. It's a little shocking is all.
あなたバカですけど意外と人情深い方なのですね。バカですけど
Just roast her ass.
少女は最上級の称賛を家族探偵に送った。
You may be a fool, but you're surprisingly empathetic. Though a fool regardless, said the girl, offering Posh her highest praise.
ちょっとバカは呼ぶんでしょバカは。
Beg pardon? Who's calling whom a fool, you fool? Totally slipped my mind. Saika's been out there ever since she was dismembered. She's probably in a terrible state considering that it's been over a week, but I still want to give her a proper burial. Not out of professional obligation, but because she's my friend.
ありがとうございます、家族さん。僕も協力しますから、理想探偵の遺体を救助が来るまでどこかで保管できると嬉しいです。
Thanks, Posh. I'll lend a hand too. It'd make me happy if we could keep Ideal's body safe till Backup arrives.
そんなのお安いご用ですわ。さあ、理想探偵の元へ参りますわよ。私についてきなさい。
No trouble at all. We will fetch her at once. Now follow my lead, everyone. With Posh at the forefront, we waste no time exiting the research
最
facility.
後にいい仲間と出会えたわねサイカちゃん
I made some good allies in the end, Saika.
暴走してごめんなさいねでも必ずあなたの仇も取ってみせるわ
I'm sorry for being so reckless, but come what may, I swear to avenge you. Okay, I think once we're gonna save here, and then we'll resume it next week. We'll just save again to make super duper sure. The decided outcome final chapter. Okay. Let's... I suppose there's an ad still going on, so we might be... I'm gonna look and see who we can raid out to or for a second before we do this. Yeah, we're making good progress, I think. Also, we have the very good outro, or the main menu music. God, it's so good. I'm glad you're able to make it too, Galaxy. God, it's so fucking... I love it. Anyways, okay, who's live that we can raid out to? Thank you for the jacket redeem right at the end. Wait, have I raided out to... Oh, nice! Oh, right, wait a minute. Was it you who left the comment that was asking for me to start narrating them so that people could actually... so that you could listen to them while you were doing work? Because someone did leave a comment. Hold on, wait, where was that? Yeah. Somebody else left a comment and said, so I listened to this VoD, and in the new playthrough you stopped reading even the new stuff, so while I was washing dishes I was like, no, why'd he stop? I guess it was on Buried Stars. Let's see. I could have sworn someone left a comment like that on one of these VODs too. But anyways, we ended up with it regardless. So let's see, who's live? Have I rated this person recently? Hold on, that was what I was gonna check. Alright, so I've rated them 2 times, so we will not rate them again. Oh, okay, I see. God, who's alive, who's live that I haven't, that I haven't rated recently that I know? I don't think I've rated this person recently. No, okay. We will raid out to Grim Gearheart. Oh no, Linux, you just got here. I'm sorry. Yeah, we're just about to raid out. I'm sorry. But how are you doing, cutie? Also, this is raid message 1 if you're a subscriber. And if you're not a subscriber, I feel like Tarth has had that effect on a surprising amount of people. And here's the raid message for non-subscribers as well. We will raid out to Grim Gearheart. Who's playing some party animals. I had fun. I did. I feel like this is actually kind of helping the game recover a bit more, because I feel like the last couple of chapters have been a little bit rough. but I feel like the story might be on a path to kind of redeeming itself towards the end. Like, cause it started really strong, and the middle of it has been a little bit all over the place. But hopefully this means it's gonna like end on the high note and still come out smooth. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, whether here for some of the stream, all of the stream, bits and pieces, etc, etc. If you'd like to go with the VoDs, also, those are on the VoDs channel. This one will be up at 9 AM Mountain Time tomorrow as well. So if you need to catch up, you can do it there. I don't know why I need to change that command because it's not 24 hours. It's always supposed to be 9. Anyways, whatever. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to say hi to Grim for me, copy over the raid messages, and I will see you tomorrow. We're going to be playing some Persona 5 Royale, and then Thursday and Friday are both going to be Danganronpa V3 because I couldn't figure out which to replace my Thursday game with. Anyways, goodbye. Abah.